For the final time in 2017, the Houston Astros and the Oakland A's wrap up their season series today. The Astros looking to salvage one game in this four-game set. They lost the first three, including being swept in the doubleheader by the A's yesterday in the Oakland Coliseum. And with that, the Astros losing three straight. They are now tied with the red-hot Cleveland Indians, having won 17 in a row for the best record in the American League. The Astros have held that title since taking it from the Yankees back on May 11th. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Thanks for joining us for this final game between the A's and the Astros. And Blummer, this road trip started out really well. Hasn't gone so well here in Oakland, but a chance to get back in the right direction.
It's always a chance to get back in the right direction. You've got Keuchel and Verlander backing up these next two games, but time not to worry about the record. Just go out game by game and try and win each inning.
It's been a tough series because the Oakland A's, a young team, have really hit the ball well.
No, they've crushed it. They've put up a lot of runs against the Houston Astros rotation and bullpen, namely the bullpen. But if you see a lot of pitches, for me, they're elevated in the zone. It's all about execution. If you have a good game plan against a ball club, it doesn't mean anything if you're not able to go out there and execute and put pitches where you want. I know this is a young athletics team who has been eliminated. They're hungry to go out there and get their experience in ABs, and they're really taking it out on some of these bad pitches from the Houston Astros.
11 runs in each game yesterday, and the majority of those coming against the bullpen. Today, they turn to Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, Dallas has got to be the guy that stops these streaks. He wants to be in that ace position, and he is in that ace position. Last time out, pitched extremely well against the Seattle Mariners. It's a little bit different in some of the games he's been watching here against the Oakland A's, but he does have 13 quality starts. Last time out against these Oakland A's, he got 18 ground ball outs.
We'll see if Keuchel can get this ship righted again for the Houston Astros before they head with the off day to Anaheim. We're ready for baseball on a Sunday afternoon from the Bay Area. It'll be Keuchel against Kendall Graveman. First pitch and starting lineups right around the corner. On AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Beautiful day in the San Francisco Oakland Bay area as the Astros and A's wrap up this 4-game series. The Astros have already wrapped up the season series 12 games to 6. They won last year's season series 13 games to 6, so a win today will match that mark of 2016 as they try and win one game in this 4-game series, as the A's have been very tough in the first 3 games. The Astros come in with a 14-game lead over the Angels, 14.5 over the Rangers, because both teams have 70 wins. They have the same magic number against those two teams, 7 against those two, and a magic number of 6, which has held steady since leaving Seattle against the Mariners. AJ Hinch will line things up this way in our Astros starting lineup, presented by Southwest Airlines. George Springer back in his familiar spot at the top of the lineup, followed by Josh Reddick, who moves into the number 2 position. Jose Altuve hits 3rd. Carlos Correa is the cleanup hitter. Alex Bregman slides down and hits 5th. Marwin Gonzalez will play first base today and bat 6th. Evan Gattis back from the DL makes his first start at DH. And Brian McCann behind the plate with Jake Marisnick hitting 9th in center field.
Kendall Graveman, right-hander, going for the Oakland Athletics. Another pitcher for these Oakland Athletics that has spent time on the DL, had a shoulder strain. He is 2-2 with a 5.79 ERA in 7 starts since the All-Star break. Getting roughed up a little bit since coming back off the DL, and after that All-Star break, 15 starts this season. He's thrown 84 in the 3rd innings, 59 punch-outs. This is a guy, last time out, the Astros saw him, throws a ton of fastballs. Started to mix in a little bit of a breaking ball, trying to change that eye level a little bit, but still going to be heavy on the fastball. See if the Astros can catch up to it and do some damage.
He has struggled this year against right-hand hitters. He used to be a neutral guy, but this year righties, kind of a reverse split, have gotten him more than lefties, so he's trying to break in that curveball the last few starts. You're right, we used to see 80-85% sinkers, but we'll see how he mixes it up today as he faces the Astros and George Springer leading things off. Springer having a good month of September, hitting .367, has that average up to .295. Team leading 31 home runs. We are underway on a Sunday afternoon. Very pleasant, warm conditions here in Oakland to wrap up this 4-game series. Astros losing a doubleheader yesterday, 11-1 in Game 1 and 11-4 in Game 2, after the A's walked it off in the first game, winning 9-8. Graveman with a 1-1 count has been much better at the Oakland Coliseum over this season, making just his 16th start due to that injury that Blummer told you about. Kept him out from the end of May all the way through the beginning of August. 84 degrees at game time today. Broken bat towards first. Olsen gloves it. And this game starts with a 3 unassisted ground out off the bat of George Springer.
Batting in the 2nd position, left fielder, number 22.
Defensively for the A's, Chris Davis will be in left field. Mark Canha will make his 9th start in center field. Chad Pinder will play right. Matt Chapman once again at 3rd base. Marcus Semien back in there at shortstop. Jed Lowry at 2nd base. Matt Olson's the first baseman, and making his first start of the series, Dustin Garneau. Josh Reddick used to patrol right field for the A's, and he continues to have a good season against his former team. Takes a called strike. Josh starts the day 4th in the American League with that .317 average. Astros seeing Graveman for the 3rd time this year. And he's ahead of Reddick 1-2. Mentioned he's been tough against lefties all year, especially lately. Just a .133 average against him from left-hand hitters his last 5 starts.
Running fastball from Kendall Graveman. A lot of hitters, if you're facing a guy, you can just zone down, not worry about anything up. But the fastball at 73% this season. His last start out there, adjusted a little bit Mixing in that curveball you see at the bottom from 5% to 26%. But as a hitter, if you know a guy's going to throw one pitch 73% of the time, you can pretty much sit on it. You can also sit in zones too. What I mean by that is you can sit down in the zone. You can anticipate run on that fastball. Now with that breaking ball, it changes the eye level a little bit. And it kind of changes that thought process a little bit too. But we've yet to see one here in 9 pitches.
In the air center field. Coming in on it is Canna to make the play for out number 2.
Quick math tells you 10% of the time so far in this game he's going to throw a curveball.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if that percentage stays where it was. He's kind of searching for things right now. You mentioned how much he threw that sinker in the past, but he hasn't had that same success with it this year. Last 2 starts going just 5 innings in each, allowing a total of 9 runs. First inning has been problematic at times for Graveman. 15 runs in 15 starts in the first inning, but he's got the first 2 outs here, and he's 0-1 on Jose Altuve. Baseball's a funny game. Lots of ebbs and flows within the course of a season, and in this road trip alone, we've seen some ebbs and flows. We saw a 3-game sweep in Seattle with Justin Verlander's first start, Lance McCullers' first start. Team was flying high coming into Oakland with a 7-game winning streak, but they have not looked very good in this series. Just trying to get 1 game before an off day tomorrow and taking on the Angels for 3.
Even the Ken Giles that we saw in Seattle blowing the doors off Mariners hitters, I didn't anticipate him giving up anything to Boog Powell, and he's the one that shot him. So it's crazy how it works.
Boog Powell hit his 2nd major league home run of his career in the 9th inning of game 1 of the series Friday night. Hit an 0-2 slider over the wall and right to tie the game at 8. Jed Lowry would win it a few batters later. Garneau.
So a guy that throws the fastball 75% of the time is having a talk with Dustin Garneau.
Yeah, Garneau came over from the Rockies organization in August, but they are trying to get on the same page against Altuve ahead of the count 1-2. With all this stuff about stealing signs, I wonder if technology will be good enough someday to have some sort of small microphones and earpieces, or
just plant a chip in their skull. That way you can track them, get them in the hotel rooms by curfew.
All pitchers must have a chip.
Read their thoughts, yeah. Instill positive thoughts in their brains, yeah.
There's got to be a way to have a small little wafer thin speaker.
Well, we've got the IFBs we put in our ears so our producer can yell at us when we're doing stupid things. So why not give one to the pitchers?
Save some time on some mound meetings.
Right.
Ground ball sharply hit past Chapman. Fair ball down the 3rd base line. It rattles around the A's bullpen, and that will be a double for Jose Altuve. Altuve will keep running just in case they change their mind, but he'll have to head back to second, I believe. There he goes.
Reroute. Well, that was not a good meeting by Dustin Garneau. We'll take a look at that last pitch on our MD Anderson strike zone. Down and in. Altuve brings the hands in and drops the barrel on it. Shooting it past what we've seen in this series. A pretty good 3rd baseman of Matt Chapman. Joys of playing here at some name Coliseum.
Oakland.
Sure. It's been Oakland Alameda forever, amongst other things.
Alameda's not part of the name apparently anymore.
Plastered all over the outside of it. Need to make the adjustment.
It is Rickey Henderson Field at Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah, that stencil work behind home tells us that.
Outside of Carlos Correa for a ball, 1-0. Still the last remaining stadium that hosts the NFL and Major League Baseball. Raiders will have their home opener a week from today. NFL football starting week 1 this afternoon. Full schedule. Raiders were on the road. They had that game on the board as they beat Tennessee. Tough day for the hometown team in Houston as they lost to the Jaguars. 2-0 the count to Carlos Correa. They still play football here. I believe the last stadium prior to this one that finally switched was when they played Hard Rock Stadium, which was the Dolphins and Marlins sharing a stadium in Miami.
Can we just call it Joe Robbie?
Joe Robbie. That changed a few names too.
Yeah, it did. Jack Murphy down in San Diego.
Used to be a bunch. Now it's all individualized sports with their own stadiums. 2-1 to Carlos Correa. 3-1. All those cookie cutter stadiums in the 70s. Three Rivers, Riverfront, Veterans Stadium. Ball 4, Correa draws a walk after 2 outs and nobody on. A double by Altuve and a walk to Correa. And that'll bring up Alex Bregman.
Batting in the 5th position, third baseman, number 2, Alex Bregman.
Bregman coming in batting .284. Getting a chance to bat 5th today. A.J. Hinch kind of switching up the order a little bit, breaking up all the right-handers at the top. Bregman's 4th game batting in the 5th spot in the order. And he fouls one back. Post All-Star break, Bregman has been as good as anybody. Not named Altuve in this lineup. .932 OPS in 52 games. Got under this one, lofted down the left field line. Long run Davis, long run Simeon. It's Chris Davis who puts it away in foul territory for the final out of the inning. Astros leave 2 in the 1st. Final game of this 4-game weekend series. Astros fan with his thoughts back to the state of Texas, as Bob Melvin will send a red-hot lineup lined up this way against Dallas Keuchel. Marcus Simeon back in there at the top. Chad Pinder hit a couple of home runs in last night's 2nd game of the doubleheader. Jed Lowry at second base. Chris Davis at cleanup. Ryan Healy the DH. Matt Olson at first. Matt Chapman at third. Mark Canha and Dustin Garneau.
Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the Houston Astros, looking to stop this funk they're in here in the Oakland Coliseum. 12-3 on the season. He is 3-0 against the Oakland A's this season with a .83 ERA in 3 games.
Keuchel starts Simeon off with a pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Simeon hit a big grand slam in this series, and the A's come from behind win on Friday night. Sends this one in the air to right field. George Springer waits for it, puts it away for out 1.
We'll take a look at some pitch usage with Dallas Keuchel and against these Oakland A's, brought to you by AT&T. This series, these 3 games, See the averages versus the fastball at 359 and slugging at 594. Off-speed pitches. Now keep in mind the Oakland Athletics are a young team, don't hit the off-speed very good on the season, but in this series 356, the big number for me is that slugging number at 822. They have been crushing the off-speed that's been floating out over the plate.
This ball's hit hard, but at the first baseman Marwin Gonzalez, so 2 outs on 3 pitches for Keuchel as he retires Chad Pinder. It's an A's team similar to the Rangers in that they hit a lot of home runs and they will strike out a lot. 204 home runs for the A's this year, and they're about to set their franchise record for most strikeouts. But what stands out to you, and you mentioned it throughout the course of the doubleheader yesterday, is normally breaking ball can be a tough pitch for this team to hit, but yesterday they were hitting it deep, hitting it over the fence, extra base hits.
Again, if the Astros are pitching according to their game plan, that means that they are thinking the same thing, that they're able to put them away with some of the off-speed pitches. For me, it's just the ability to execute the off-speed pitches that we've seen them hit, pretty much center cut and lofting themselves into that strike zone where they really no panic or chase situation. They just wait for it to get to the contact zone and hammer it.
Jed Lowry bats with the bases cleared and 2 outs. Switch hitter batting right-handed, 252 right-handed on the year, 273 overall. Outside, it's 1-1. On the corner, says Ramon de Jesus, the home plate umpire. It's 1-2.
It's a good thing for Dallas Keuchel. If he's able to work those edges and get the calls, it's going to be a good afternoon for him. It's beautifully done.
When you're needing a win, you're riding a little bit of a losing streak here, 3 games. Nice to see number 60 on the mound. That's very close, but a little bit off the inside part of the plate. It's 2-2. A.J. Hinch will wrap up this series with Dallas Keuchel. He will start the next series with Justin Verlander. Percussion section's going strong as usual today.
Got a good beat going. Might have gone with the cold brew this afternoon. Nice and warm out there playing them drums. They use the
rail.
Yeah, how about that? Creativity. Wonder what sound the vendor makes. Take a whack at him. Sudden we're in Atlanta.
Florida State in Atlanta.
Yeah.
3-2 the count. On the ground, hit the mound. Correa has to back up on it. His throw just in time to get Lowry. Correa has played really good defense since coming back from the DL. Keuchel with a 1-2-3 first.
This day in MLB history is brought to you by Guy.
Here in Oakland, and in case you haven't been keeping up with what's going on around the league, the Cleveland Indians have won 17 consecutive games. They go for their 18th straight tonight. Now, with the 2 losses for the Astros yesterday, these 2 teams are tied for the best record in the American League. And of course, with the tiebreaker, and you look back at what the Indians and the Astros did against each other this year, it wasn't good. That's one of the teams the Astros really struggled against, only 1-5. So the Tribe would have the tiebreaker there and would have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Indians are talking about it. They're thinking about it. They said they're very aware and want to bring more playoff games to Cleveland. And of course, the Astros think the same, but AJ said today that you have to play the schedule out in order to decide who comes away with the best record. There's a lot of games left. He also said that you're watching, you're keeping up with it, but it can be exhausting if you're looking over your shoulder after every single game. So the first goal for this club is to win the division right now. After that, it's getting the best record. Todd.
All right, that division magic number keeps dwindling. The Astros actually dropped 1 on the magic number total yesterday despite losing the doubleheader because both the Angels and the Rangers lost last night. 3-0 the count to Marwin Gonzalez. But Blummer, 3 weeks from today, it'll all be over. And, you know, hopefully the Astros end up with the 1 seed. But after leading by as many as 13 games for the best record, they have been caught by the hottest team in baseball.
Yeah, if you ask any player, they just want to get to the dance, and that means the playoffs. They just want to get in the playoffs, and then you play it out from there. Whether or not you play the Cleveland Indians, the Boston Red Sox in the first round or the second round, you're still going to have to go through probably one of those teams to get to the World Series. So in winning the best record in the American League, yes, you get home field advantage. Yes, you maybe have an easier first round, but still going to be tough. Just a matter of getting there. Can't really worry about best record type scenarios for me as a player. It's just get there, and then once you get there, take care of whoever's in front of you.
Called strike to Evan Gattis. It's 0-1. Saw the lead over Boston for both teams is 5 games heading into today. Red Sox are trailing in their game in the 8th inning 4-1. Gattis just back from a right wrist injury. Came off the DL yesterday. Getting a start today as a DH, down to the count 0-2. Astros finally caught the Indians in games played, and they will fall back 1 game again tomorrow because the Indians play the Tigers while the Astros have the day off. Indians play a night game today, Sunday Night Baseball. Check of Marwin at first. Marwin out at first base. He's picked off by Graveman.
Another out on the base pass for the Houston Astros. Marwin getting picked off. Not a perennial base stealer. He can steal bases. Caught leaning a little bit. Graveman with some quick feet. Wasn't the greatest tag from Matt Olson at first base. It's a good look at it on our Mattress Firm Supermo cam. Going to the outside of the corner. Gets him just before getting into the bag.
Now sending one deep to left field is Gattis. It's got some hook to it, and it's just foul. Gattis home run distance in his first at bat back from the DL, but he pulled it foul.
Already got a couple of home runs off Graveman. Looking to add one more.
In the dirt, 2-2. Astros making Graveman work a little bit. Allowed a double and a walk in the first inning. Walked Marwin Gonzalez on 4 pitches to start this inning. Now Gaddis staying alive with 2 strikes. Counts full. Evan got down 0-2. Gaddis played for Quad Cities in their postseason. In a rehab assignment coming back from the DL. A couple of stints on the DL for Evan since the All-Star break. On the concussion list. And also the little wrist injury. Now ground ball on 2 hops to Lowry. Makes the play for out number 2. Two outs, bases empty. Here's Brian McCann.
Catcher, number 16, Brian McCann.
It's been a series in which the A's have really feasted on the Astros bullpen. Overall, 31 runs scored, and 8 of them against the starters and 23 against the relievers. McCann with a count of 1-0. Called strike. It's 1-1.
13 walks out of that bullpen in 10 1/3 innings pitched.
Astros walked 13 in a 9-inning game that matched their franchise high. First game of that doubleheader. Painful 8th inning. 4 different batters walked with the bases loaded in that game.
There's 2 things you can't defend in the game, and that's a walk and a home run.
2-2 the count to McCann. He's reached in all 9 games since coming off the DL, batting .370 since rehabbing that right knee. Down and in, it's 3-2. A lot of deep counts for the Astros. Graveman will make his 40th pitch in the first 2 innings. On the corner, called 3rd strike. Graveman gets McCann for the first strikeout of the game. We are through an inning and a half, scoreless. A's and Astros playing the final game of this 4-game series, final game of the 17-game season series between these two. Take that 19-game season series between these two. Astros lead the season series 12 games to 6, trying to match their mark of last year when they won a franchise high 13 games against the A's. Chris Davis leads things off against Dallas Keuchel. Dallas had a 1-2-3 first inning. And Davis takes a pitch for a ball, 1-0. Davis reaching the 100 RBI plateau in the doubleheader yesterday. Joins Miguel Tejada and Eric Chavez. Only A's with back-to-back 100. Last two A's with the back-to-back 100 RBI seasons were those two. They did it in the same years. As Davis swings and misses, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Two and 1 the count. Keuchel facing the A's for the 4th time this year. Overall 18th career appearance. 16th start. This is outside. It's 3-1. On the ground, Bregman has it. Spins and makes the throw. Marwin stays on the bag. A nice play turned in by the Astros third baseman.
No, that was very nice. Such a luxury having a guy that can range out there at third base.
Batting in the 5th position.
Everything away from Chris Davis. He hit this one pretty good, but Alex Bregman doing a good job getting into that 5.5 hole with the spin, move, and throw. Such a good first step. It may not look like a true step in every sense of the word, but he gets out over that front foot and kind of gets that lean going and makes him quick to that baseball.
Well, you've seen Bregman play at a whole different level really for the last 2 months, 2+ months since the beginning of July, offensively and defensively. There was a stretch there where AJ kept him at third base, just wanted him to get his reps. He wasn't as consistent moving between third and short, but now he's fine playing both.
I think going back and playing a little bit of shortstop kind of got some of those natural instincts back for him as far as first step and mobility.
Oh, 1 pitch misses to Ryan Healy. Healy, the DH. He has really come on in the last 24 games, batting .323. Hasn't been hitting as many home runs lately, but that average has been moving up and up. It's up to .266 off the end of the bat. It's 1-2. An A's team that has some power to build around in the future. Chris Davis looking for back-to-back 40 home run seasons. Ryan Healy, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman. Keuchel gets Healy swinging. Dallas with his first strikeout. 2 outs in the second. Join the Astros for this Friday's game against the Seattle Mariners. 10,000 fans in attendance receive a Houston Strong t-shirt presented by HEB. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit astros.com/promotions. 2 outs, bases cleared. On this mid-80s Sunday afternoon, Matt Olson will bat. Olson with 8 home runs in his last dozen games. Up to 16 on the season. He takes a called strike. Dallas wearing the 3/4 sleeves on this warm day. And he's ahead of Olsen 0-2.
Something we've seen Dallas do quite a bit to some of these left-handed hitters here in recent starts. Just throw that fastball in. Tie him up a little bit, get him thinking inside, opens up the outside corner for that possible slider.
On the ground, foul. Olsen recalled again from AAA Nashville on August 8th, and season's kind of taken off since the last recall, hitting over 300 with 23 RBIs in 28 games. Down low, it's 1-2. Astros playing game number 142 last night. 20 games to go, including this afternoon's contest in Oakland. You'll have 11 more on the road. This game, 3 in Anaheim, in the 7-game road trip to wrap up the season, with 3 in Texas and 4 in Boston. 9 more home games, beginning with that Friday night game against Seattle 5 days from today. 2-2 pitch. Just missed at the lower portion of the zone. The count's full. On the ground, Altuve in the shift. Makes the play. Dallas has faced 6 hitters and retired 6 hitters. We're through 2, scoreless.
Gonna fall on XA, Josh Reddick. He has been raking of late. This month of September, he's hitting .560, leads all of Major League Baseball. 15 games against his ex-team, he is hitting .413. Just absolutely tearing the cover off baseball. Been a lot of fun to watch and been a mainstay in this lineup all year long for A.J. Hinch, providing some big hits. Road trip, he's hitting .538, 7 for 13, home run and 7 RBIs.
Josh will be due up third in this inning as the Astros try and get something going against Kendall Graveman. A couple of runners on in the first, and then Marwin Gonzalez with a leadoff walk, but he was picked off, and Jake Marisnick leads off the 3rd inning. Jake getting another start. Started game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. Jake's 1st and 2nd starts in the month of September. Been nursing a bit of a groin injury, and then Cameron Maven came on and had a few starts in a row. Shake down to the count 1-2. Always smiling, Cameron Maben. 1-2 on the corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for Graveman, both looking. And there's one out in the third.
Well, the fastball, too, must be creating some pretty good movement to lock these guys up.
Now batting, number 4, George Springer.
And just running back down and in, probably looking out over the plate.
I'll bring up George. Springer grounded out to first base his first time up. He takes a called strike. Only one hit so far in this game. It was a double by Jose Altuve down the third base line. Graveman continues to pour strikes in. Springer will take his time outside of the batter's box to try and disrupt his rhythm. That ball's hit hard to right field. Going back and leaping up and making a great play is Chad Pinder on the warning track. He robbed Springer on a line drive to right.
Ball was hit extremely well off the bat of George Springer, going the other way, which is a good sign. But Pinder playing relatively deep. We've seen him make some athletic plays out there.
Now batting, number 22, Josh Reddick.
So 2 outs and the base is cleared, and that'll bring up Josh Reddick. Reddick takes a pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Slow hit ground ball towards second. Lowry is there. Graveman with a 1-2-3 third inning. Chad Pinder going back on this baseball and robbing George Springer for the second out of the inning.
Of the third, and a couple of injury updates for you, starting with Colin McHugh, who had to leave Friday's game after 3 innings with the right middle finger avulsion. It turns out it's more of the fingernail digging into that finger, not able to throw his breaking balls the way he wants to. So they're actually going to give him some rest. He was hoping he wouldn't have to miss a start. He'd be there 5 days later, but they are going to skip him this time around and let him get healthy, maybe see him in the White Sox series as well. Juan Centeno hit on the backswing from Jed Lowry a couple days ago, or yesterday as well. He has a mild concussion, so he is going to be out for some time. There's no 7-day concussion DL that you can be placed on in September, so they're going to give him as much time as he needs to get rid of those symptoms and get back out there. But guys, Colin McHugh, just frustrating for him. You know, he was disappointed that he had to come out early just with the way the weekend was setting up with the doubleheader coming the next day, but now having to miss some time to get healthy in a time where he was trying to get going and get ramped up after missing much of the season. Frustrating for sure, but hopefully we'll see him back out there soon.
Springer comes on and makes the play for out number 1 on a soft fly ball to right field. Yeah, disappointing for McHugh, who will not make that start on Thursday. So they had to choose between Brad Peacock and Charlie Morton. Morton was extended a lot more in the doubleheader yesterday than Brad Peacock. So that's normal rest for Peacock. With the day off Monday, he'll come right back and slot in behind Justin Verlander and Lance McCullers Jr. in that series against the Angels.
Be interesting to see Garrett Richards back out on that mound. Young man with good stuff.
Tough no decision for Peacock yesterday. He was really dealing through 5 innings. Had a 3-hit shutout going. Allowed a 2-run home run to Olsen, last batter he faced. And then from that point on, the A's scored 9 more runs against the Astros bullpen. Peacock wasn't sure if that would be his last start or not. And with the injury to Colin McHugh that will skip his start, Peacock right back in there, making another start on Thursday. 0-1 pitch is outside for a ball. It's 1-1. At some point, A.J. Hinch will have to make a decision. 6 will become 5, and then 5 more than likely will become 4 in the postseason. One pitch, swing and a miss. Keuchel pulls the string on Cannon. It's 1-2. Dallas has been throwing that changeup a little more since coming back from the DL. Gets a little piece of it. Does Canada stay alive?
I thought it was interesting to look back at Dallas's last start against the Seattle Mariners, where he got extremely heavy on that fastball, throwing it 72% of the time as opposed to 57.5% of the time throughout the course of this regular season.
It's almost like he completely shelved the cutter. It was all fastballs.
Yeah.
Occasional cutter, or excuse me, occasional change in curve. But yeah, 72% for Dallas. That's like Graveman-like. Gets a foul ball there. It's 1-2.
Well, it led to him throwing 19 ground ball outs. Talked about last time out that 72% of the time was fastball against the Seattle Mariners. Mixed in a couple of changeups. That curveball. But the last start he had against the Oakland A's, he set a season high with 18 ground ball outs. And then last start out against Seattle Mariners with 72% fastballs. That sinking fastball created 19.
Gets another ball on the ground. This one foul. Well, Dallas leads the majors in that category. 67% ground ball percentage, the highest amongst pitchers with at least 100 innings pitched. Dallas coming in today with 122. $20 games remaining, so that's 4 starts through the rotation. Dallas should end up with 23 starts if everything holds in form. 1-2 pitch, slowly hit towards Bregman, comes in on 3 hops, finally loses control of the baseball. Knew he had to rush. And that'll be a base hit for Canna.
Canna can run a little bit too. Makes that play that much tougher.
He hit that ball off his shoe tops.
Well, that's the thing with Dallas Keuchel. He creates such soft contact that sometimes he does get the ground ball, but it's just not in the range of where these guys can make the play. It's tough.
Runner on with 1 out. Dustin Garneau will bat. First base hit allowed by Keuchel. There's a hard hit base hit into left center field. Correa thought about jumping and then realized it was too far over his head. Garneau on the first pitch he sees singles to left, and the A's have 2 on with 1 away.
Now batting, shortstop, number 10, Marcus Semien.
Back to the top of the lineup, Marcus Semien. Flied out to right his first time up. Semien in a 5-game hitting streak, hitting at .304 coming in during that streak. Called strike, 0-1. Mentioned the soft contact. That's another area that Keuchel leads the major leagues in. Ground ball percentage and soft contact led to a hit for the A's to start this little mini rally. Now ball chopped foul, and he's ahead of Semien, 0-2. Full 6.5 percentage points above the major league average for soft contact. On the other end of that spectrum, lowest percentage of hard contact as well, 24.6. And he gets Semien swinging for the second out of the inning.
Join the Astros on Saturday for Superhero Day. Fans can purchase special ticket packages starting at $26 that include pregame access to Union Station, superhero meet and greets, a photo booth, and an Astros Superhero Cape giveaway. Visit astros.com/superhero for more info.
That'll be a big day for Josh Reddick and Cameron Maybin.
Go out and get that picture with Spider-Man if he's there.
Chad Pinder lined out to first base his first time up. Pinder with his 3rd career 2-home run game in game 2 of the doubleheader. The Astros will wrap up their series with Oakland today. They will be the first of their divisional opponents that they will be finished with for the season. Called strike. Keuchel ahead of Pinder, 0-2. Gets away from McCann. Both runners advance.
Cross up.
Not sure we've seen that very often with those two.
No, really haven't. I think the ball is just a fat four-seamer in, and McCann going in to block it, stays up on him and thumbed him pretty good.
One and 2 the count. And now 2 in scoring position on the pass ball. And Keuchel gets Pinder on strikes to end that rally. First and second, 1-out situation. Dallas works through it. with that road batting average close to 400, 5 for 14 in this series. Coming into the game batting .395 on the road. Picked up his 188th hit with his first at bat of this game, a double down the third baseline, and now Altuve will lead things off for the Astros in the 4th inning. Altuve's double so far the only hit for Houston. It'll be Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Alex Bregman facing Kendall Graveman. Graveman's retired 4 in a row, or 5 in a row, with a couple of strikeouts during that stretch. And Altuve takes a pitch for a ball, 1-0. Astros trying to get out of town with at least one win in this series. And now the count's 1-1. Graveman has thrown a lot of strikes since the 1st inning. Astros put some pitches on him the first couple of innings, but then he worked a 1-2 3/3. Altuve hits it hard, gloved on one hop by Chapman. Kind of waved at it and found it on the short hop. Good play by the A's third baseman for out number 1. Altuve hit it hard, but Chapman was there to make the play. Altuve tried to get it past Chapman. We have seen Chapman make a lot of solid plays throughout this season series between the A's and the Astros, and that was a tough short hop for the first out of the inning. I'll bring up Carlos Correa. He walked his first time up, and Graveman was in the middle of his windup, and DeJesus granted Correa time.
It's an old school tactic to mix up a guy that's in a pretty good rhythm.
Still delivers a strike. It's 0-1. Graveman retiring 6 in a row now, getting ahead of a lot of hitters lately. We mentioned earlier the Astros magic number down to 7 as we start play today. We could see our first clinching in the major leagues as early as this afternoon. Washington winning their game against Philadelphia 3-2. The Atlanta Braves and the Miami Marlins are playing extra innings in Atlanta. If the Braves defeat the Marlins, the Astros spring training buddies will wrap up the National League East.
Kind of snuck up on everybody.
Everybody was focused on Dodgers, Astros, and then Cleveland and the Diamondbacks with their winning streaks. Just under the radar go the Nationals.
Just sailed right in there.
And really nobody playing well in the NL East other than the Nationals. The Marlins coming in at 6 games under 500. They're in 2nd place.
Oof.
So the Nationals are at 88 wins. That means the most Miami can reach is also 88. If they lose today, it is the Nationals division. Correa to right field, slicing away. Pinder is there, and he makes the play on the run. Pinder has made a couple of nice catches in right. He robbed George Springer earlier, and now he retires Correa.
It's been tested out there a couple of times, but how about the A's, who have issues making routine plays, or making some of the exceptional plays look pretty easy?
They had a couple of blips in this series, but for the most part, they played really good defense.
Surprisingly good.
2 outs, and that'll bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman flying out to left, his first at bat. Graveman gets a called strike. Astros scored some runs in game 1 of this series, getting 8 on the board. But after putting 8 on the board in game 1, they were held to 5 runs in the 18 innings of the doubleheader. And now today, early on, trying to solve Kendall Graveman. Graveman, a guy was acquired in that big trade for Josh Donaldson. Takes a pitch outside for a ball. Bregman ahead 2-1. On the ground towards short, Semien to the backhand, and another 1-2-3 inning for Graveman. He is retired 8 in a row. We're through 3.5 scoreless. Keuchel has not had any offensive support so far as he will face the middle of the A's lineup. Second time through, Jed Lowry, Chris Davis, Ryan Healy, 3, 4, 5 in the A's lineup. So far, a couple of hits allowed by Dallas. He has struck out 3, including the last 2 batters he faced. Lowry grounded out to short his first time up. Want to know the count. Dallas got the ball to start this road trip. Picked up a victory in Seattle. Astros winning 6-2, part of a 3-game sweep against the Mariners at Safeco Field. Now Dallas wrapping up this series in Oakland, and he will next pitch again at Minute Maid Park in the final homestand. Ground ball towards second. Altuve with an easy play, and Lowry retired for the first out of the 4th. Hey, you can bring your pups out to the ballpark next Sunday. It'll be Dog Day at Minute Maid Park. Grab a Dog Day ticket package to enjoy a pregame pooch parade and costume contest before the game. Visit Astros.com/dogday for tickets and info.
We may not see Julia that day.
Where does she go?
She's a big dog lover. She'll be out hanging out with the pups.
She'll just be all around the stands?
Yeah.
They have a dog that hangs out with the grounds crew here.
That dog is living the life.
Runs around on the baseball field before the game. Here's Chris Davis. Takes pitch outside for a ball, 1-0.
Dog might be here to chase away the possum.
A lot of animals to interact with in Oakland. Julia has met most of them. 1-0 pitch on the ground. Correa waits for it. Dallas keeping the ball on the ground this inning, and Carlos throws it away. He has been really good defensively since coming back from the DL. And that's actually going to go into the dugout and cost the Astros an extra base. McCann was playing it off the wall there, but it actually went into the Astros dugout, and that cost the Astros an extra bag.
That is unfortunate. Just sailed on him. Marwin trying to make the jump and tag. Unsuccessful.
Number 25, Ryan Healy.
for McCann. He thought that was going to hit a little area in front of our camera there, which would have kept it in play, but it just scooted off to the right and ended up bouncing in the Astros dugout. And that's what cost the Astros an extra base. So a 2-base error for Correa. Here's Ryan Healy. Healy swings to the first pitch and pops it foul. Hits that green facing in front of our camera in play, but just to the right of that in the dugout, out of play and an extra base.
That's just the way things have been going for the Astros in this series.
Dallas getting 2 balls on the ground this inning. In the game with 4 ground ball outs of the 7, also of the 10, I should say, also 3 strikeouts. Pitch misses away, 1-1. Colin McHugh lasted 3 innings in the first game, had to leave with an injury. Charlie Morton picked up 5 innings, but really had to work hard to get through those 5. Brad Peacock pitching into the 6th inning yesterday. And now Dallas Keuchel to wrap up this series. Line drive off the glove of Bregman. He recovers, but no play. Alex knocks it down as Healy hit it hard towards the Astros third baseman.
Interesting to see how they score this. That was a bullet off the bat of Ryan Healy. Kind of an in-between hop. Alex tries to play it on the long hop. Eats him up. They're going to give him a knock on it. I like how Alex opened up trying to see that long hop, but it looked like instead of bouncing to his left, it bounced right at him. Ricocheted off his chest. That's something you can't anticipate.
So an infield hit for Healy. Ball hasn't left the infield this inning, and the A's have runners on first and third and 1 out. Now Keuchel deals with Matt Olson. Olson takes a pitch for a ball.
Not sure where that missed, and I think Dallas is questioning that too. Be a good look at it on our MD Anderson strike zone, down and away, basically right where Dallas wanted it.
Two and 0. Dallas got Olson to ground out his last time up. He would take the same thing here. First and third, 1 out. A's with 3 hits, Astros with 1. Ground ball towards first. Marwin steps on the bag and throws home, and being tagged out at home plate is Chris Davis to end the inning. They get the double play. Marwin steps on the bag and throws out the runner heading home.
Pretty impressive and heads up. Marwin with a good glove, good arm. Goes back and gets the bag, and Chris Davis in no man's land is out at home.
yet between the Astros and the Athletics. And it is time to show you today's Chevy Stroh poll. Remember to follow us at ATT Sportsnet SW. That's where you can find these polls. Which Astros player is your most improved so far in 2017? Is it Brad Peacock, Alex Bregman, Joe Musgrove, or maybe someone else? You can write it in and tweet us at ATT Sportsnet SW. We'll let you know who wins later in the broadcast. Todd?
Interesting choices. One guy from the bullpen to the rotation, the other guy from the rotation to the bullpen. And then Alex Bregman with big numbers since the beginning of July as Marwin Gonzalez fouls one back. If you go from first half to second half, those would be your candidates. If you go from year to year, Marwin would be a candidate with a career high this year in home runs and RBIs.
It's good to have that many choices. That's how you get a team that wins a lot of ball games, is getting some of these guys to maybe overachieve or overperform a little bit. These guys are showing some of their true talent.
Marwin finally got passed for the team lead in RBIs. He's had that for a while. Really, he became the leader since Correa went on the DL after he passed Carlos. But then Josh Reddick caught him during this series. Reddick has 79. Marwin has 78. Altuve and Springer have 76. And Correa has 68. I have no idea who's going to end up with the most RBIs. Marwin slicing one down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Davis will play it on a couple of hops, and Marwin cruises into second. He has a leadoff double to start the fifth.
It's beautiful. That pitch down and away, just kind of throw your rear end into the dugout and the barrel the other way, and you end up with a knock.
Number 11.
Nicely done. Put his head down too, right out of the box. It's good to see Marwin hustling on that play. I'm sure if Davis had gotten to that ball a little bit quicker, he was still going to challenge that arm out there.
That'll bring up Evan Gattis. He grounded out his first time up. Evan saw a lot of pitches in that at bat from Graveman and takes a pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Graveman had retired 8 in a row. Last man to reach base before the Gonzalez double was a Marwin walk. See if the Astros can get something going with Dallas Keuchel putting up zeros on the other side. Outside, Gattis with a 2-0 count. Gattis got down 0-2 his first AB coming off the DL. Fouled a couple of pitches off, worked the count full before grounding out.
Be interesting to see the choice he makes. He's got a 2-0 count. You do want to move the runner, but at the same time, maybe take advantage of the 2-0 count. But mentally, I wonder if he was thinking of drive the baseball as opposed to get Marwin to third. Have another opportunity here, 3-0, 3-1 possibly.
2 of his 3 hits against Graveman have been home runs. Graveman probably aware of that. 3-0 pitch is a strike. On the ground towards third. That will not move the runner. Throw made by Chapman, and Gattis retired for the first out. So Graveman able to come back down 3-0 in the count.
Now batting, number 16, Brian McCann.
I'll bring up the other half of Brevin McGattis. Brian McCann will bat. McCann struck out his first time up. 2 strikeouts for Graveman. Getting McCann to end the second, then Jake Marisnick to start the third.
Let's see if Brian McCann went to school on his last at bat. Trying to anticipate the movement on that fastball from Kendall Graveman.
Pitch misses, 1-0. McCann, like Gattis, with 3 hits against Graveman, and also one of those is a home run. On the corner, 1-1. Graveman last year, his second year with the A's, made 31 starts. Got better as the season went along last season. This year it's been a little bit of the opposite. He was very good in April. Struggled a bit in May before going on the DL with that shoulder strain. Since coming back from the DL. Had a tough month of August and making his second start in September. .579 ERA since coming back as he misses to McCann, who's 2-1. But today he's been good. Leadoff double by Marwin Gonzalez. Astros have only had a few runners reach second base. Altuve with a double in the first with 2 outs, and now Marwin to lead off the 5th. On the ground, right side. Olsen will take it himself. McCann retired. On the play, Marwin moves to third.
There's a changeup from Kendall Graveman. Not mixing in a lot of off speed, but sometimes it's been opportunistic for him.
Now will face Jake Marisnick. Jake struck out his first time up. Fastball up and away, 1-0. Astros were shut out in the first 5 innings of Game 2 yesterday. Didn't score their first run in Game 1. It's their only run until the 5th. So this A's rotation, which has struggled here over the past few weeks. Last 3 games effective against the Astros early on. Two O's a fastball for a strike at 92. Jake making his 65th start of the year, has 13 of his 16 home runs, batting in the number 9 spot. Count evens at 2 apiece. Graveman will have a little discussion with Dustin Garneau.
As well as Graveman is pitching, I don't think that they're on the exact same page. Graveman's got some ideas. He shook to get that curveball, that last pitch. Garneau was trying to set up for that fastball inside. As the conversation continues. Some 2-out, 2-strike lightning in this 2-2 count.
Just missed the corner inside. Graveman upset with Ramon de Jesus. And now the count's full.
Seeing Dallas be upset. That one catches the edge too. Pretty good pitch, and Graveman understands the situation. That would have been a good time for him to get that call and get out of this inning.
George waits on deck. Jake awaiting a 3-2 pitch. 80th pitch of the game for Graveman. Called third strike. Jake does not like it, and he is out of the game. Marisnick does not like that call by Ramon de Jesus, and he was quickly ejected from this game by the home plate umpire.
Tension's running a little bit hot here after a pretty good stretch in Seattle. Things not going the Astros' way here in Oakland.
A's scoreless, bottom of the fifth. Jake Marisnick hauled out on a third strike and ejected from this game.
Not a bad pitch on the edge by Graveman. He was complaining about the pitch previously, and I say it all the time. Protect. You got to protect. The Astros have actually done a very good job throughout the course of the season protecting, not striking out very much, but you don't want to put it in the umpire's hands. And it's a tough spot to not get frustrated for Jake Marisnick. But I just think getting ejected right there was not the most prudent thing to do.
Keuchel now facing Matt Chapman to start the bottom half of inning 5. And misses on the first 2 pitches. It's 2-0. Jake Marisnick ejected to end the top half of the 5th inning. Cameron Maben takes his spot in center field and will bat 9th. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Michael got Chapman to fly out to right his first time up.
Dallas again heavy on that fastball. Backing off the breaking ball to get to the changeup with more right-handed hitters.
It's outside. 3-1.
It's nice to be Dallas and be that chameleon that you can't really anticipate from start to start. He's going to mix it up, go with his strengths, see what you're swinging at, adjust to how you're getting yourself out, because that's what he predicates his game on.
Ball in the air to center field. Maben all the way back. He's at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Matt Chapman hits one to straightaway center field for his 12th home run of the year. And the A's take the first lead of this game 1-0.
After the Astros had a runner in scoring position, no out, were unable to come through. Didn't look like a terrible pitch. Matt Chapman and these Oakland A's have been swinging the bats well, though. Down in the zone, just coming over the inside corner. Dallas does such a good job of staying down and away to right-handed hitters. This one just leaked back that inner third. Still down, but Chapman dropped the head on it.
Here's Mark Canha in a 1-0 game. Canha sends one to center field. Maben getting tested early. This one will drop in front of him after the home run out of his reach. Back-to-back base hits for the A's. Canha's now 2 for 2.
Now batting the catcher, number 12, Dustin.
Just got to tip your cap. Sometimes you're going to give up hits on pitchers' pitches. As a right-handed hitter, that's where you've got to almost put a lot of your focus on Dallas Keuchel as far as approach against him. When Dallas maybe sees those guys leaning over the outside corner, start coming in a little bit, stand them back up and open up the outside edge.
Garneau around the bunt, bunts it foul, but too far from McCann to make a play. A's with another run on a home run. They came in with 48% of their runs scoring on a home run. They will more than likely shatter their franchise record for highest percentage of runs scored via the home run. Saw 8 of their 9 runs cross the plate in game 1 on 3 different home runs. Olsen has 12 home runs since the All-Star break. Chapman now has 12 home runs since the All-Star break. Those two lead all rookies in that category. One pitch, line to Bregman, hit hard by Garneau, but gloved by the Astros third baseman for out number 1.
Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on MLB.tv. Your subscription lets you watch live baseball on over 400 mobile and connected devices with At-Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Marcus Semien will bat with 1 on and 1 out. hit towards Pregame. Only has the one play to first and gets Simeon by a step and a half. On the play, Canha moves to second. Congratulations to our brothers at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. We share the spring training facility with the Washington Nationals. Become the first team to clinch a spot in the postseason. They won earlier today, and the Atlanta Braves scored 3 in the 9th against the Marlins to send the game into extra innings. And then Lane Adams walked it off with a 2-run home run in the 11th. Atlanta beating Miami, and the Nationals have won the National League East.
Ticket has been punched.
First ticket punched. Hopefully by this time next week, the Astros will have their ticket punched. That was your original prediction, right? All the way back to the beginning of this road trip?
Sticking with it.
A week from today?
Yeah, we can go back to the video.
Want to know the count to Chad Pinder? I remember. I trust you. I know.
Yeah, I'm locked in on it.
Ground ball towards short. Correa makes the play for the final out. Solo home run by Matt Chapman has given the A's a 1-0 lead. The former A, Josh Reddick, coming up in the 6th inning with the Astros down 1-0. AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. A's and Astros head to the 6th inning. Oakland with a 1-0 lead. Astros only have 2 hits against Kendall Graveman. He's also walked a couple of batters, and he has struck out 3. Top of the order due up. George Springer takes a called strike. 0-1. Springer has grounded out and lined out on an 0-2 pitch. Chad Pinder made a great play on the warning track in right field. Strike one's been a big pitch for Graveman, and now he's ahead again on Springer. 0-2.
Graveman's had 2 good starts against the Astros this season. The first one was interesting back in April, going 5, giving up 1 earned run. He had 0 punch outs in that game. They saw him August 19th, where he went 6 strong and only gave up 2 earned runs.
His best 2 starts have been against the Rangers. He's pitched well against the teams from Texas. A couple of 7-inning outings with 1 run allowed. He's never had a start without a run allowed this year. So far, he threw 5 shutout innings and a ground ball to second. Springer hustling down the line, but Lowry makes the play for out number 1. Julia?
As Josh Reddick comes up here, he said he'd be lying if he didn't say that he enjoyed hitting or playing at this ballpark and then doing well in this ballpark. He's played well against the A's, played really well here as of late. It doesn't matter who he's going up against. And I mentioned a couple of days ago how he credited everyone in that lineup in helping him having such a great year. But he said it again the other night. He said, you know, all year I haven't felt the need to try too hard or do too much, and that's exactly what gets me into slumps throughout a season. So hasn't really had that so far this year, and hopefully carries us all the way as far as the season goes, guys.
Yeah, this has been a nice year for Reddick all the way through, and especially against his former team. Josh, coming into today, was 9 for 20 on the season, the Oakland Coliseum, but he may be 0 for 3 today, a one-hopper to Lowry, and he is, as he is retired for the second out of the 6th inning.
Houston Methodist is going to bring us our league leaders.
Now batting, number 27, Jose Altuve.
Told you. Batting average, Jose Altuve since July 4th. These guys have been very good. Josh Reddick is on that list at 9th, but Jose Altuve with 384 average. Alex Bregman behind him also with that 332 batting average. Guy's been swinging it.
Altuve doubled his first time. He has one of the 2 hits for the Astros. The other one belongs to Marwin Gonzalez, also a double. Astros have had just 2 runners in scoring position today. Graben with a rare pitch out of the strike zone to start a count. He has been getting ahead of most hitters the last 3 or 4 innings. And it's 2-0 on Altuve. Altuve hit a 2-run home run to give the Astros a 2-0 lead in the nightcap of the doubleheader yesterday. Astros led that game 3-0. A's came back to tie it at 3. Astros took a 4-3 lead, and then the A's would score 8 unanswered runs. Altuve takes a 3-0 pitch for a strike. It's 3-1.
It's interesting. I think Malone was trying to figure out whether or not he wanted to call it. Almost deked everybody at home plate.
Altuve up the middle. That'll be a base hit. Another multi-hit game for Jose Altuve as he is 2 for 3 and a 2-out base runner in the 6th.
210th multi-hit game this season. That's what it feels like. It's unbelievable how he goes out there and just racks up hits by the bunches. Is he down to 11 more hits?
56 multi-hit games and 189 hits on the year.
11 more to go to get to that 200 plateau that he enjoys getting to.
What will happen first? Will the Astros clinch, or will Altuve get to 200 hits?
Altuve will get 200 hits. So once he starts firing on all cylinders and starts racking up the knocks, it's tough to slow him down. I'd like to see them both happen on the same day. Kind of cool.
Carlos Correa, 0 for 1, walked his first time. We saw Correa hit a line drive to center field his last time up, and then he hit one pretty deep to right his second at bat of this game.
And I was just going to say, I'm kind of feeling that he might be rounding back into form, and this might be a big spot for him to try and get one out of here and get the Astros going.
Takes a strike there, 1-1.
Because I'm with you. We talked about guys that are struggling to let that ball get deep, drive it the other way. He did that. Just had somebody make a good play against him.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, there's that guy. Way to go.
Making Craig Biggio feel bad. Bidge was the only Astro ever with 200 hits until a guy named Altuve came around.
I didn't realize all the hits in this organization were at second base. If I'd have known that, I would have asked to play a different position.
The hot spot. Correa holding up on a pitch outside. It's 2-1. Graben wants a check. First base umpire and crew chief Sam Holbrook said no swing. Let's see what Carlos could do here. Hitters count 2-1. Altuve on first base in a 1-0 game. Carlos still looking for that first extra base hit since coming back from the DL. Takes a strike. It's 2-2. There's a line drive base hit into center. Altuve will go first to third. Correa with a base hit. The Astros have runners on the corners.
Good piece of hitting. He looked a little bit indecisive on a couple of fastballs for strikes earlier in the count, but this time he does a good job in a 2-strike count. Much better pitch to hit. Watch that backside. Stays on it. drives the hips through it. That's a good finish for Carlos Correa. Signs pointing in the right direction. Hard contact, good ABs throughout this day.
Graveman approaching 100 pitches. No bullpen action yet for the A's as Alex Bregman will bat with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Altuve represents the tie game. Correa represents the go-ahead run. Bregman takes one outside for a ball. Alex is flied to left and grounded out. Getting a chance to bat in the number 5 spot today for just the 4th time this year.
Kind of like putting his attitude in that 5 spot behind Altuve and Correa. 2 superstars getting on base, and Alex Bregman wants in on the action.
Takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Might have been that cutter at 87. But Alex, with as well as he's been playing, it's a lot of mentality for me too, that he's kind of wanted these spots and likes being one of those main cogs in the middle part of that lineup.
There goes Correa. Pitch is sliced foul. And it's 1-2. Correa's been running a little more since coming off the DL. Hadn't tried a stolen base attempt prior to injuring that thumb.
Trying to cook up some runs with that oven mitt. You're loving those, aren't you?
I love your puns. I'm not sure I love the mitt itself.
You don't like that? It's not attractive?
It is a reminder, though, as Correa slid into home plate the other day, not to go in head first.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten away from when I first came up, or when I was playing, guys would grab their batting gloves, one in each hand, and just make a fist so they wouldn't put that open hand down.
Correa on the move again, pitches low, nobody even covering for the A's. So now 2 in scoring position. That up goes a stolen base for Correa. He's now 2 out of 3 in steals this year. A little surprised the A's completely forfeited that bag.
Yeah, me too.
Now Bregman base hit gives the Astros the lead.
I was going to say, I guess Graveman's focus is on home plate. But like you said, a base hit away from possibly taking the loss.
100 pitches in. 4th time this year he's thrown 100 pitches or more. Over the mound towards the middle, backhanded by Lowry, not in time. Altuve scores. We're tied at 1. Bregman with an infield hit. Crossing the plate, Altuve. Correa headed to 3rd.
Huge, just getting that to bounce over the head of Kendall Graveman. Pitching a phenomenal game and just inches away from grabbing that and ending this inning. But by the time it gets past Graveman, you know it's a base hit for Alex Bregman. It's just a matter of, does Lowry throw the ball away, or does it get past him and lead to another run?
So Bregman picking up RBI number 58 on the year. Altuve scores his 99th run of the season. 2nd in the American League, only to Aaron Judge. And Bregman is going to have Colin McHugh deliver a little hand guard to him. We'll have oven mitts all over the bases.
Maybe Colin was wearing it in the dugout to protect his hand. Sorry.
He might have been. We'll go with it. 1st and 3rd, and now Marwin's turn with 2 outs. Graveman at 101 pitches. His high total on the year is 105. Ryan Dull begins to throw in the A's bullpen. Astros finally getting a run against Graveman. Took him until 2 outs and nobody on in the 6th inning. Single by Altuve, single by Correa, infield hit by Bregman. Marwin takes a pitch just off the edge, 1-0. Right-hander Dull, we have seen him in this series. Pitched a couple of innings in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday. There goes Bregman. Pitch is grounded foul. This time the A's were covering with Simeon. Marwin chops it foul. It's 1-1. Good numbers this year for Marwin with runners in scoring position. Chance to match Josh Reddick for the team lead in RBIs if he can drive in Carlos Correa. Into right center field. Back goes the center fielder Canna. He makes the play on the track. Hit pretty well by Marwin. Flagged down by the center fielder. We're tied at 1.
Looking at Jed Lowry, Chris Davis, and Ryan Healy this inning here in the bottom of the 6th.
Dallas back to an even game again after giving up that solo home run last inning. Lowry a couple of ground outs so far. 15,892 in attendance at the Oakland Coliseum for this wrap up to the 4-game series. Single admission doubleheader yesterday, saw almost 20,000 watching a little baseball in the Bay Area. Former Astro Jed Lowry ground out to short and a ground out to second base. Fouls one back. It's 1-1. Dallas had thrown 66 pitches through 5. Kendall Graveman is over 100 pitches. Pretty close to his highest pitch total of the year. Would be surprised if he came out for the 7th, although right now there's no bullpen action. There's a line drive from Lowry into left field. That'll be a base hit. Reddick down to a knee to stop it, and Jed Lowry a leadoff base runner for the A's. Stick around after this Friday night's game for the best fireworks show in town, presented by Occidental Petroleum. Next week's Friday night fireworks display will be synced up to superhero-themed hits. Visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info. Mariners will be in town for that weekend series. Mariners, after being swept by the Astros, are looking to return the favor to the Angels. They lead the Angels 2-1 in the 7th inning. They won the first 2 games of that series. Here's Chris Davis fouling one back. Davis reached on an error his last time up. He's also grounded out. Hit by Lowry was the 6th hit allowed by Keuchel. Dallas has not walked a batter, and he struck out 3, but none since the 3rd inning. Davis down to the count 0-2.
Looks like the Rangers are getting introduced to Aaron Judge. 3 RBIs and those 12 runs they've put up on the Rangers. 3 RBIs. He's got himself a home run. 2 home runs, sorry.
Not as good a second half, but good numbers overall for Aaron Judge. Still leads in OPS.
Well, I think he just walked for 107th time. I'm not sure what it is, but I think he's now set the rookie record for walks in a season. Still a high strikeout guy, but also gets on base. That combined with his ability to crush baseballs gets him that high OPS, huh?
Yankees lead 12-4 in that game, trying to help out the Astros reduce that magic number. Yeah, it's been quite a season for Aaron Judge. Still not sure if his numbers compare to Altuve's, but
nope.
We'll debate that over the last 3 weeks. 2-2 the count. Shot foul. Angels have now tied that game up with Seattle, 2 apiece. Dallas Keuchel facing Chris Davis, Lowry on first base, and nobody out in a 1-1 game in the 6th. Outside, 3-2.
Davis has hit a couple of ground balls in this ball game. Right now, it'd be a great time for Dallas Keuchel to induce another one, possibly get that double play out of the way before facing Ryan Healy.
Off the end of the bat, Davis just barely staying alive. Davis, in addition to leading the team in strikeouts, also leads the team with 17 double play groundouts. Just missed on the 3-2, and Davis draws a walk. A's have the first 2 runners on in the 6th inning.
Great pitch from Dallas Keuchel. Nothing to show for it, but that was expertly located down and away in that corner away from the right-handed hitter.
Number 25, Ryan Healy.
It was a pitch to Joey Gallo in Tampa Bay that led to some of the focus issues that Dallas Keuchel admitted to. Hopefully this isn't the time. He regains it pretty quick. Learn from that mistake in Tampa. Just can't get every call, but you really want those calls in that situation.
Very close pitch, doesn't get the corner, according to Ramon DeJesus. And now 2 on with nobody out, and Ryan Healy, the batter. Healy, an infield single and a strikeout.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions this road trip.
I know.
I mean, normally we're not hanging on every pitch from Dallas Keuchel, but that was a pitch. At the moment, I was like, man, we need that pitch.
He was feeling the same thing after getting ahead of Chris Davis, unable to put him away. Joey Gallo walk on a 3-2 pitch led to a run with the bases loaded. Dallas would end up giving up 6 in that inning. Now he's 2-0 on Healy, and Brian McCann wants to talk to his starting pitcher.
That's your veteran catcher recognizing the situation, going out there and reminding Dallas Keuchel, hey, you've been great all game. You didn't get the call. It doesn't mean you give in right now and try and be too perfect and start missing out of the zone.
Two and one.
The luxury Dallas Keuchel has is that he's a high ground ball percentage guy. We've seen him plenty of times with traffic eliminate traffic by getting the ground ball. Pretty traditional lineup.
Healy tried to hold up. He went around. It's 2-2.
Trying to go out there and get that changeup.
Keuchel has 3 strikeouts. Got Healy his first time up.
Close.
He got him. Ryan Healy swings and misses for the first out of the 6th inning. Big strikeout for Keuchel and the Astros.
Good slider, and I think he had Ryan Healy tied up mentally, especially after that check swing, but a good job. That's the second time we've seen Dallas Keuchel go to the punch out with runners on base. It was back in the 3rd inning. He got Simeon Pinder to end that inning with back-to-back punch outs. But now with that punch out, you see him getting on the side of that slider, creating that down and in break. Good job getting the swing over the top. That was good depth on that.
Really had that pitch diving at the feet of Ryan Healy. Now he could use another double play. Got Matt Olson to hit into a double play his last time up. That's also grounded into the shift to Altuve. Pitch misses in the dirt. Blocked by McCann. It's 1-0. Misses again down low. 2-0 the count. Dallas has been so tough all year on left-hand hitters.
See if he comes back inside and tries to tie up Olson. That's how he got that double, an odd double play earlier with Marwin Gonzalez. But a double play would get him back in that dugout with 85, 86 pitches.
3-0. Well, Dallas did not want to fall behind in the count to this guy. He's got a lot of extra base potential. He and Matt Chapman, the guy on deck, leading the rookies in home runs since the All-Star break. There's a strike on the corner, 3-1. Look in from Keuchel. Just inside, ball 4. No swing from Olson. That's a walk. 2 walks in the inning after a leadoff hit by Lowry, and now the bases are loaded.
Going over that game plan right now. Matt Chapman last time out went down and got a pretty good pitch from Dallas Keuchel and launched it into center field for a bomb.
Matt Chapman.
Oh, game on the line here for Dallas. Bases loaded, 1 out, facing Chapman, who has a 6-game hitting streak with that solo home run his last time up. First bullpen action of the day for the Astros. Francis Marquez begins to warm up. Lowry on third. Chris Davis on second. Matt Olson on first. 1 out. Keuchel down in the count, 1-0.
yours, Frank.
Just missed. 2-1. Dallas has had some close pitches not go his way this inning.
Interesting idea by Dallas Keuchel, trying to go up and in, tie up Matt Chapman. Pitch he hit out was down.
Three and one. Keuchel, after allowing a leadoff hit to Jed Lowry, walked Chris Davis and walked Matt Olson. Now he's 3-1 on Chapman. Bases loaded walk. That's the 5th bases loaded walk we've seen in the last 2 games issued by Astros pitching. You don't anticipate seeing it from Dallas Keuchel. He walks in the go-ahead run here. Chapman draws a walk with the bases loaded.
Yeah, you don't expect Dallas Keuchel to give in, but you also don't expect him to walk in a run. Dallas does a good job throughout his career pitching to contact and using that defense behind him, but defense can't do anything about that. One hit in the inning, 3 walks.
French Strom's going to go out and talk to his starting pitcher here with Martez warming up. Keuchel's last dozen starts against the A's has gone at least 1 out into the 7th inning in all 12 starts. Today he's got 92 pitches as he's working into some trouble here in the 6th. Lowry with a base hit and walks to Davis, Olson, and Chapman, now facing Mark Canha with the bases full and 1 away. Also in those 12 starts, Dallas not allowing more than 3 runs in any of those. The A's have been a tough team in this weekend series, scoring a lot of runs, showing patience, drawing walks. And now Canha, who has 2 hits and 2 at-bats against Keuchel, stands in there with the bases full. Canha an infield single and a single to center. Dallas had not walked a batter prior to this inning, and now he has 3 walks to the last 4 hitters. There's a strike. Davis moving over to third. Olson now at second. Chapman the runner at first. In the dirt, and that hits Canha. Bases loaded, hit batsman. Forces in another run. 0-1 pitch hits Mark Canha. It's now a 3-1 A's lead.
RBI.
Bust that slider down and in, get a ground ball. Catches that front foot.
Long inning for Keuchel continues. 3 walks and a hit batter. Now Dustin Garneau bats with the bases loaded. Garneau swings at the changeup and misses. 0-1. Garneau has singled and also lined out to the third baseman Bregman. Garneau's hit the ball well a couple of times against Keuchel today. In the dirt, 1-1.
impressed by Astros pitching in this series?
13 in game 2 of this series. Inside, 2-1. Dallas has been on the plate pretty consistently through the first 5 innings. But in this inning, some close pitches not going his way, and he's walked 3. He's hit a batter. Now he's down 2-1 on Garneau.
That pitch to Chris Davis in a 3-2 count was not called a strike.
Now it's 3-1. Pop-up. Altuve drifts back, still drifting back. He's in trouble, makes an over-the-shoulder catch. Olsen does not tag. Altuve looking around to say, where was the rest of my teammates, as he makes the play on that pop-up.
Yeah, he's having a conversation with those two right there. He said, if I got to go backwards and turn my back to the infield, you guys got to be here to pick me up. Ball just kept drifting in that high sky. Not an easy play. That was actually a pretty incredible play considering the situation and where he was on the field.
That did not hit his glove.
Yeah, that was not a glove catch. How about that?
He would have made that play without a glove if you have to play without one. It's a nice job by Altuve to hang in there for the second out. Could be a game-changing play. We'll see how this plays out as Marcus Semien bats. Semien takes a called strike. We mentioned in game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday, this is as tough as it gets for pop-ups during day games here in Oakland. It can be a very tough sky for outfielders and infielders. Inside to Semien, it's 1-1. A bases loaded walk and a bases loaded hit by pitch have put the A's on top 3-1 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Keuchel now over 100 pitches. That'll be out of play, 1-2. Well, through all this traffic in the 6th inning, if Keuchel can make one more pitch, he can at least get out of this inning with his team down 2. It has not been a pretty inning for Dallas. 3 walks in this inning also matches his high total for any game this season. Two and 2. Sixth time all year he has walked 3 in a game. They have all come in a span of 4 batters in this inning. Stays alive. Marcus has flied to right, struck out, and grounded out 0 for 3. All the runners on base reaching via the walk or a hit by pitch. Misses up and in. Dallas with a full count with the bases loaded and 2 outs will make his 40th pitch of the 6th inning. As long an inning as we have seen from Dallas all year. Another bases loaded walk. That's 2 in the inning. That's 6 over the weekend for the Astros. And that'll be the last batter that Dallas Keuchel will face. Season high 4 walks in any game this year. They all came in the 6th inning of this outing. Keuchel will leave. Francis Martes will come in. Could never anticipate from Dallas Keuchel. Kind of has you shaking your head. 40 pitch inning. He walked 4 in the inning, allowed a leadoff hit to Jed Lowry, then walked 4 and hit a batter. Not sure if we've ever seen Dallas like that before.
No, command is usually not the issue with Dallas. Sign of the times. Been a rough stretch here in Oakland. Now Francis Martes is in, 5-2 record, working out of that bullpen. Finds himself in a tough situation, backing up Dallas with 3 runners on, 2 outs.
He'll face Chad Pinder, who was 0 for 3 against Keuchel. Pinder takes a called strike on the corner. It's 0-1. 2 bases loaded walks and a bases loaded hit by pitch have scored 3 runs for the A's in this inning. After a leadoff single by Lowry, the rest of the damage was self-inflicted. One and one to count.
Martes pitched a while ago, back on the 6th. He went an inning and 2/3 and threw 24 pitches.
Missed the fastball at 97. It's 1-2 on Pinder.
It's where you'd like to see Francis Martes lock down and really go to a pitch that he feels comfortable throwing a good strike with. Get out of this inning as quickly as possible. That was it. Good slider down. I guess it's a curveball for Frankie. He just throws it so hard.
Power curve. Pinder stayed alive. Bases filled with A's with 2 outs in a 4-1 game. Martes gets Pinder swinging. Foul tip caught by McCann for the final out. The A's score 3. It's a 4-1 game.
We move to the 7th here in Oakland, and time to reveal the results of today's Chevy Stroh poll. Thanks for following and voting at ATT Sportsnet SW, and we ask you which Astros player is your most improved so far in 2017. You go with Alex Bregman, 50%. Brad Peacock getting 40% of the vote, though, today. We thank everybody again for voting. Guys, what do you think?
Good choices. Musgrove's come out of nowhere, too, but hard to argue with Peacock or Bregman for what they've done in 2017.
Yeah, it seems like there's a little more history between those two guys, and fans are liking what those two are doing. Brad Peacock really splashing on the scene this year with that punch-out rate going way up.
So Evan Gattis will face a new pitcher, Ryan Dull, into the game and delivers a strike. It's 0-1. Dull ended up going 6 innings of 1-run baseball against the Astros. Pitched well. Gattis went 0 for 2 against Graveman with a couple of groundouts. On the ground, foul. Evan down in the count, 0-2.
Dole is a fastball changeup slider guy. Heavy on the fastball slider to right-handed hitters. 41st appearance.
I'm still stunned by that last half inning. Not sure what we witnessed there. Dallas, first time he doesn't go through at least 6 or 6 1/3 against the A's since all the way back in 2013. His last outing that short against Oakland was 3 1/3. Just lost the zone. 4 walks and a hit batter in that inning. Season high in walks. 4 earned runs allowed. There's a ball hit well to left field. Davis moving to his right, though, and tracks it down for out number 1. Gattis hit it well, but he is the first out of the 7th inning. Dull last year pitched a lot out of the A's bullpen. Rookie season, led the team in appearances. Now he'll face Brian McCann. McCann has struck out and grounded out. Dull made 70 appearances last year. Pitched to a 2.42 ERA and a 188 opponent's batting average against. McCann doesn't like that call from Ramon DeJesus and has an extra word for him at home plate.
I'm just not sure how you like or don't like. Some pitches have been strikes, some have not. Jake Marisnick's already been ejected for arguing balls and strikes, but McCann been back there all day long, and that one a couple inches off the plate. He's reminding Ramon that that shouldn't be a called strike. Or if it is, maybe Dallas Keuchel gets out of that last inning. There's a pretty good pitch on the edge that actually caught part of the plate to Chris Davis in a 3-2 count.
McCann drives one foul. It's 0-2. It's been a tough series all the way around. The Astros have seen the A's score a lot of runs late in this series. 3 more in this game in the 6th inning. They gave up 6 in the first game in innings 6 through 8. 8 in game 2, and then 11 more in the 3rd game of the series. That's 28 runs in the 6th inning on for the A's in this 4-game series.
For those wondering at home, that conversation is still going between Brian McCann and Ramon DeJesus behind home plate. But professionally done by Brian McCann.
Tried to shoot the corner close to where that first strike was called. It's 2-2.
First strike that Brian was arguing was down and away, just below it, doesn't get the call. So Brian McCann maybe manipulating that strike zone with some conversation.
There's a ball sliced the other way. That's going to be down for a hit. Davis will try and make the play. McCann's going to head to second with a double. Brian McCann, a one-out base runner in the 7th. McCann now has reached base in all 10 games coming back from the DL.
There's a lot of tennis players out at the U.S. Open right now that would like to have that touch, just be able to fillet one down inside that line. It was beautifully done by Brian McCann to run himself into scoring position, but he's not happy out there. Not sure what the issue is. He spent some time on the DL with that knee injury.
Been a hot day for him behind the plate. We know he goes through some jerseys in the course of a warm day.
Well, he had to play game 2 yesterday because Centeno came out early in game 1 with the concussion.
Here's Cameron Maybin. Maybin taking a called strike. Now Garneau and Dull want to make sure they're in sync on the signs with McCann at second base. I think he's just overheated at second.
Could be.
McCann just getting his wind back. Big man playing the day game after the night game, as Blummer mentioned. Kind of pressed into duties yesterday. Wasn't expected to play in that doubleheader, knowing he was catching Keuchel today. But Centeno hit on the helmet. Stassi came in game 1. That forced McCann to start game 2. Maybin in his first at bat came on for Jake Marisnick, who was ejected after arguing a called third strike in the 5th inning. Cameron down in the count 0-2. Ground ball towards short. Simeon makes the play for out number 2. Maybin hustling down the line.
The Houston Astros have set up a website so that all fans can help raise much needed funds for Hurricane Harvey relief. Visit youcaring.com/AstrosHarvey to donate today.
Now batting, number 4, George Springer.
Back to the top of the order we go. George Springer will bat. George looking for his first hit today. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. Fastball in the corner. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Springer is grounded out, lined out on a great play in right field by Pinder, and also grounded to second. Dahl will throw that slider a lot to right-hand hitters, almost as often as he throws the fastball, and he will definitely go to it with 2 strikes. He's ahead on Springer 1-2. Dahl missed a couple of months due to injury this year. Strained right knee cost him 60 games from late May to late July. George did not chase that breaking ball, and it's 2-2. For 4-1 A's, they scored 3 runs in the bottom half of the 6th, 2 bases loaded walks, and sandwiched in between was a bases loaded hit by pitch. Up and in. Counts now full on Springer. Josh Reddick waits on deck. There is double barrel action in the A's bullpen. We may see a lefty if Springer reaches. and ball. Where's number 62? He's the lefty. Chris Hatcher, the righty. Springer down on a slider to end the inning. Dahl picks up his first strikeout. 7th inning stretch time in Oakland. It's 4-1 A's.
The 7th. Here is something to smile about, presented by Cricket. We are looking at one of the Astros' top prospects, Forrest Whitley, first-round pick 2016. Checking out his stats. First true pro season for him. We saw him in rookie ball last year, but in 3 different levels of the minors. Check these numbers out with the 2.83 combined ERA. Made 18 starts. We saw him do a little piggybacking as he would come in a little bit out of the bullpen, but still looking good. All the numbers, strikeout to walk there is pretty good as well. And all the reports are good too. They liked him so much. You know, the organization has pushed him all the way up to AA. So the Corpus Christi Hooks is where he finished the season, and I heard lots of great things about him. The real deal. That's what I'm hearing about his stuff. The 6'7", 19-year-old from San Antonio, guys.
Yeah, good to see. He was pushed. Not many guys reached the AA level after they are drafted out of high school the next year. And Whitley kept answering the bell wherever he was challenged at the next level. Kept getting the job done. More than a strikeout and a half per inning.
Looked like he could go out there and win a staring contest too.
1-0 to Jed Lowry as Martez throws one to the backstop. The A's have been staring at a lot of pitches outside the zone in this series. The Astros with 6 bases loaded walks allowed as Marwin Gonzalez will flip to Martez, who barely beats Lowry to the bag. Good play by Marwin at first for the first out of the 7th.
Great play by Marwin. Better play by Martez, picking up some ground. He doesn't exactly jump off the mound right here. Saw that ball going down the line, but Marwin's athleticism snags that ball. And he had to go over there in a panic to get that out of Jed Lowry. It's great watching good infielders. They kind of have that glove already in a position where they're anticipating the ball being, as Marwin watches that ball all the way in and then gives a good shovel pass.
So Lowry retired for the first out of the 7th. Martez came on with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 6th. Was able to strike out Chad Pinder to leave the bases loaded for Dallas Keuchel. Now facing Chris Davis, who takes one inside for a ball. 1-0. Backstop getting a workout in this inning. It's 2-0.
Did that hit your glove? It sounded like a skillet.
Nice. Francis has had 2 pitches that just completely eluded McCann and lost no velocity going all the way to the backstop.
Picked up speed, skipping off this hard infield.
It's a little disconcerting if you're a hitter.
Yeah. Sets up the slider, though.
Missed with it. It's 3-0. Actually, 7 walks with the bases loaded in this series. Sorry.
Those are painful. You just keep driving that knife in there, don't you?
That's as many as you want to see for a whole season.
Yeah. That's a good point.
4-pitch walk there as Martez issues a walk to Chris Davis with 1 out in the 7th inning. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Day here at the ballpark at the Oakland Coliseum. So pick on the big scoreboard with the score and the inning and also the team names. We had a number of breast cancer survivors on the field before the game, and many of them are sticking around to watch this final game of the series. Boog Powell will come on as a pinch runner for Chris Davis. Davis leaves the game after drawing a walk for the 2nd straight time. So Powell will take over in the outfield more than likely, and they'll probably move Canada left. Powell can steal a bag. Ryan Healy the batter. A's don't run a whole lot, especially without Rajai Davis here. Powell out to a pretty big lead on Martez. Delivery home misses. It's 1-0. Will Harris starts to loosen up in the Astros bullpen. Ryan Healy with a 1-for-3 game, a couple of strikeouts. Called strike on the inside corner. It's 1-1. You could never predict this game, but when the Astros came in with a 7-game winning streak and took a 7-3 lead on the A's in game 1 of this series into the 7th inning, and they had the bases loaded and 1 out in that 7th inning, leading by 4, you're thinking could be an 8th win in a row, 11 straight here in this stadium, on to a good series against the Oakland A's, and things turned around. A double play ended that top half of the 7th to keep it 7-3. The A's would come back to win that game 9-8, and the rest of the weekend has been all Oakland. 11-1, 11-4, and today a 4-1 lead. Three and 1 to count.
You almost feel as if Brian McCann and Brent Strom have run out of things to say to some of these guys. They're not going out to the mound, because at this point you just want to go out there and tell Francis, got 95 in the tank, fire it down there and see if they can hit it. Don't try and be too perfect on the edges.
With that in mind, McCann was set up right in the middle of the plate.
That's one way to relay the message, is just sit right behind home plate and say, hit the glove.
Healy fouled off the 3-1 pitch.
Just make him earn it. I mean, that's the only thing about the walk, and you'll hear that a lot from pitching coaches and managers. You just, the free pass. You want to see these guys earn their way on. Granted, in this series, the mistakes that have been over the plate have been hit, but at least you're making them swing.
That ball's hit well to left center field, and that will be gone. Home run, Ryan Healy, 2-run home run. And the A's now lead this game 6-1. Healy's 24th home run of the season.
I believe the previous pitch was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that was fouled off to the right-hand side.
Now batting first
And
baseman,
Martez came with the curveball.
28, Matt Olson.
Another breaking ball sent out of the ballpark by the A's in this series. We showed you that slugging percentage earlier in this game. They have taken advantage of some elevated breaking balls, and Healy hits his 24th. Here's Matt Olson. Olson takes a called strike. The A's had come into the series having lost 8 of their last 9. They had won on Wednesday to snap an 8-game losing streak. And the Astros are in danger of being swept in a 4-game series. That pitch hits Olson right around the ankle. And he will head to first base with one out. A.J. Hinch coming out of the dugout. Martez Day will probably be over as Will Harris has been warming up and A.J. goes to the bullpen.
A.J.'s absolutely got to be beside himself with what he's watching in this series.
Hasn't been fun.
Man.
A.J. will go to a new reliever when we come back. For the 7th inning, one out, a runner on first base after a hit by pitch. And the Astros will go to their second reliever of this game. It'll be Will Harris.
A.J. searching for somebody out of that bullpen that could come in and shut down this Oakland A's offense. Right now it is Will Harris's turn. 39th appearance on the season. ERA pretty good at 3.11. Whip still under 1, which is great. Again, those numbers are very good against Oakland, but this is a different Oakland A's team that we're seeing right here.
Will's the only reliever who has not pitched in this series until now. Francis Martez also just got in for the first time against the A's. Probably a good thing for Will because the reliever numbers have not been pretty in this series.
Not at all.
Matt Chapman takes a called strike. It's 0-1. 6-1 game, 3 runs in the 5th. Excuse me, in the 6th, 2 runs here in the 7th. A's didn't really earn them in the 6th. A couple bases loaded walks, a hit by pitch, but in this inning, a 2-run home run. A's have had a solo home run, a 2-run home run, and the rest coming in with runners forced in via Walker, a hit batter. 0-2 pitch, and Chapman fouls it away. In the dirt. It's been a long day for Brian McCann. He was out there for a long time in the last inning, and it hasn't been a short inning here in the 7th either. Brian will be looking forward to the day off. He will catch Justin Verlander in the first game of that series in Anaheim on Tuesday.
Right about now, we're all looking forward to it, Todd.
It's been a place where the Astros had done so well prior to this series. Feel like they were kind of reversing the curse of this building, having won 10 in a row. Second longest winning streak against the A's in their home stadium. This weekend has been one of the ugliest series, if not the ugliest of the season. White Sox series right up there. 2-2 pitch fouled away.
Could be the Dodgers.
Dodgers have lost 14 out of 15.
It's amazing. You talked about the ebbs and flows earlier in this game. And no greater example than what we're seeing this weekend and what the Dodgers are doing.
Dodgers have also lost 9 in a row for the first time in 25 years. Their best season in forever.
Best team in baseball.
On a pace to win more than the Mariners did, or at least matched their number from 2001. And now here they are losing 9 in a row and 14 out of 15.
3-2 count. Again.
They don't have time of possession in baseball, but if they did, it would be heavily in the favor of the A's offense.
Yes.
They have been at the plate for long stretches in this series, especially the last couple of days. Ball 4. Harris walks Chapman. Dodgers in the 15 games where they are 1-14 have a 197 batting average and a 5.66 ERA.
It's a bad combination. Team that drives the ball as well as the Dodgers do. Yu Darvish, that trade pickup for them, 0-3 with a 9.5 ERA.
Before this stretch, the Dodgers were 91-36.
What?
It's impossible that they've gone through the stretch having been that good for 127 games. They were 91-36, 55 games over 500.
Say that again. 91 wins, 36 losses. That's unbelievable.
55 over. And they've lost 14 out of 15 off of that. Baseball is a crazy game, and this is one of the crazier seasons for sure.
Well, that's the wildness of sabermetrics, is if you look at it over the entire blanket of the season, you don't have a chance to look at those anomalies that happen in the middle of the season. You just look at the bulk. But when you're covering the game as often as we are and seeing these waves of greatness and subparness, you see things like that, and they're a little more exaggerated.
I think they've went a stretch of 20 straight series without losing a series, and now they've lost something like 5 in a row.
But I think more to your point, how do you go from so good to so bad?
Right, and now there's a seed of doubt.
Yeah.
As good as you were for 127 games, 91-36, now all of a sudden it's like,
yeah, we're not as bulletproof as we thought. Got some issues.
1-2 the count on Canna with 2 runners on in this 6-1 A's lead.
During all of this, Washington Nationals are the first team to clinch. Tale of 2 divisions.
Nationals are the NL East champs yet again as they wrap things up today with a win and a Miami Marlins loss. Marlins giving up 3 in the 9th and losing in extra innings. If the Astros fail to come back and win this game, and the Angels win their game, which is 5-3 in the 9th inning, then A.J. Hinch's team will not be able to clinch on this road trip.
Buzzkill. Facts.
So, if you voted in our Stroh poll and said you were hoping to see them clinch at Minute Maid Park, you may be close to getting your wish, because the Angels are 3 outs away from wrapping up their game, and the Astros have to really come from behind in this 6-1 game with 2 at-bats to go. Yankees are helping out. They lead 16-6 or 16-7 over the Rangers in the bottom half of the 9th.
How's the traffic going to be in Arlington when that game gets out? Cowboys playing at home?
Cowboys have an evening game.
Yeah, they're 2 hours ahead.
Oh, so you've got everybody coming in.
Yeah, there's going to be an influx.
Could be a doubleheader for some.
That'll be fun. Hey, there will be for some. I guarantee you that.
Canna stays alive on the 2-2 pitch. You know what else is getting interesting? That NL Central race. Cubs lost again today to the Brewers. Brewers are only 2 games back, as are the Cardinals. What? In the NL Central. Been some ebbs and flows with the defending world champions this year too. Plummer, guess what we have?
I was just going to yell at you about the same thing. 3-2 count.
It's not my fault.
I'm not blaming you.
Okay.
Yet.
There's the NL Central. It's anybody's race with 3 weeks to go. Oh, the Cubs started out slow, then all of a sudden built that nice lead.
Yeah, they bolted. Come back to earth a little bit.
Luke Gregerson starting to warm up as Will Harris struggling a little bit, getting through some hitters here. Canna fouls one off and stays alive. I think the Astros will be happy that this is the last game of the year. Seeing the A's, they have been no fun to watch this weekend. A lot of young kids who have put together some good at bats against the Astros.
Can't put them away.
Dallas struck out 4 while he was in there. 5 strikeouts overall, but this is an A's team that normally strikes out a lot. Canna keeps staying alive on 2-strike pitches. Will in his first outing against the A's this weekend, getting an extensive outing here, just facing his second batter, and he's already thrown 17 pitches. Long at bat by Chapman and even longer at bat by Canna. Eight pitch at bat to Chapman before he walked, and now this will be the 10th pitch to Mark Canna. And he got him. Good breaking ball for Harris as he strikes out Canna. That's the second out of the inning. That was one of the better pitches we've seen from Will. So a long battle won by Harris. They'll keep 2 on with 2 outs, and they'll face the number 9 hitter Dustin Garneau.
Took a power curve in a 3-2 count to get the swing and miss finally from Mark Canna. Basically in swing mode from the get-go. Chasing well out of the zone for the punch out.
Here's Garneau, 1 for 3 today. And a called strike. In the air right field, Springer back in front of the track, makes the play, final out of the inning. 2 runs cross the plate on a Ryan Healy home run. It's a 6-1 game. Astros as we head to the 8th inning. As we welcome you back to the Oakland Coliseum. Blummer, we watched this Astros team look outstanding in winning games late against Seattle. Unfortunately, the tables have been turned here in Oakland.
Yeah, completely different story as far as starting rotation. The bullpen is not the same bullpen we saw in Seattle. I'd like to say it was one of those series, but there are things happening in this series that kind of worry you a little bit as far as the walks are concerned.
Now, a lot of walks issued, especially with the bases loaded. We have seen 7 of those over the last 2 days, and that's maybe more than you like to see all season long.
Yeah, and you know the Oakland A's are smashing pitches, but you still like to give your defense an opportunity maybe to chase one down or maybe to lay out and help you out a little bit. But the defense, as good as they are, were unable to go out there and defend against a lot of these walks and home runs.
A.J. Hinch is going to go to his bench here, down 6-1 in the final game of this series, and J.D. Davis is going to hit for Josh Reddick to start this inning. You know, every once in a while, too, you run into a team late in the season that's kind of out of it, as the A's are, and they're just kind of freewheeling it. And they've outplayed the Astros every single game. There's nothing fluky about this series so far.
Well, it's just interesting. A lot of the guys that we are seeing for these Oakland A's have come over via the trade. So they are young guys with a high upside. That's why they were traded for, but a real opportunity for them to be in the big leagues and compete at this level, even though they've been eliminated.
Sam Maul will be the new pitcher. He's a lefty, and with that in mind, J.D. Davis will get an at-bat. We've seen J.D. in this series as a pitcher, now getting a chance to see him as a hitter for the first time. It has been a long day for everybody, especially the guy behind the plate.
Hopefully that's one of those ammonia towels, ammonia ice towels. These things are lifesavers.
1-1 pitch. Pretty good barrel to this one. J.D. Davis deep to right center field. That ball's gone. J.D. Davis, opposite field home run. As the Astros cut into this lead, it's now a 6-2 game.
Can you say dual threat?
Davis first at bat of this series, and he hits his 4th home run of the year.
Going Oppo Taco in front of some of the hometown family, friends, and fans.
Well, Bob Melvin wasn't anticipating Sam Maul having to face a right-hand hitter. He figured Reddick would hit, but J.D. Davis coming off the bench and hitting one out, and we'll have a new pitcher in this 6-2 game.
Status presented by Xfinity. J.D. Davis, he can bring it at 93 off the pump. This one leaves the ballpark at 104.7 as far as exit velocity. 28-degree launch angle. Estimated 406 feet to the opposite field gap.
J.D. and Alex Cora, the bench coach, having a word after his 4th home run. So see if that can jumpstart things. Chris Hatcher, the new pitcher, and Jose Altuve fouls one at the plate. Saw Hatcher pitch in the 2nd game of the doubleheader yesterday.
Throws hard, fastball around 95, curve, cut, slider.
Hatcher came on and picked up 6 outs in the game. Finished the 7th and also pitched into the 8th. As Altuve with his 2 hits, another multi-hit game for Jose. He now has 56 of those, looking for his 23rd 3-hit game of the season. 56 are the most multi-hit games in the AL. The 22 or 3-hit games are the most in the major leagues. Angels did win that game in Seattle, so they avoid the sweep. They will have the day off tomorrow, will Los Angeles, as they get ready for the Astros series beginning on Tuesday. Seattle and the Rangers will play a 4-game series beginning tomorrow. Altuve with that run scored his last time up, his 99th run of the year. Pitch in the dirt. Altuve always wants to tell the runners to hold even when they're not on base. Counts 3-2.
Team player.
On the ground, Simeon charges with Altuve running, knows he has to hurry, and he does for the first out of the 8th. Altuve 2 for 4 now. That'll bring up Carlos Correa.
Number 1, Carlos.
Good signs in this game from Correa. Walk. Hit a ball fairly deep the other way, and also a single his last time up the middle. Correa started the year, first 15 games, 196 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Coming off the DL, he's 5 for 32, all singles. But we're starting to see signs in this series of maybe Carlos coming back to form. Just that fastball from Hatcher. It's 0-1. Hatcher acquired from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Getting a chance to pitch at the back end of the bullpen with Bob Melvin's team. Two and 1. That ball's rocketing into left center field and heading towards the wall. Cut off by Boog Powell. Correa's going to head for second. Carlos with his first extra base hit since coming off the DL. A ringing double to left center.
Get him hot. Swing is looking good. Coming back a little bit. Again, a little extra charge for the hitting coach session we had yesterday, getting him locked back in. This is all Carlos Correa, vintage Carlos Correa, getting a little more comfortable out there. If anything good comes out of this series, maybe it's the fact that Carlos Correa is probably getting that swing back going a little bit, so when the pitching shows up again, they're going to have plenty of offense, including this guy in the middle of that order.
On base 3 times today. Correa reached a couple of times in the second game last night. Now Alex Bregman. Bregman takes a called strike. Alex with an RBI infield single. His last time up, he's 1 for 3. Astros down 6-2, but looking for a little late magic in this game. The A's bullpen has not been locked down by any stretch this year. They have converted just 8 of their last 19 save opportunities over the last 49 games. Not a save opportunity yet in a 4-run game. Now Bregman behind 0-2. Alex 5 for 23 on this road trip. Hatcher gets him on strikes. First strikeout for Hatcher. Correa on second now with 2 outs.
Now batting, number 9, Marwin Gonzalez.
That'll bring up Marwin. He's had some good at-bats today. Walked his first time up, hit a double, kind of filleted one down the left field line, and then hit a ball deep to center field the one time he was retired. Three games with the Angels will all be night games. We will have our final 3 Astros After Dark telecasts of the year. And then a late arrival after the game Thursday to start that 9-game homestand.
It's all relative, Todd. It depends on how you look at it. Could be an early arrival, because we get in at 7:15, I think. Eventually, if we're lucky, in the morning the following day. That'd be nice. Appreciate that, Artie.
With Mike Scioscia's 14-man bullpen,
That's what I'm worried about too.
You're probably spot on with that. 2-0 the count to Marwin. Carlos Beltran has grabbed the bat. He is on deck if this inning continues to pinch hit for Evan Gattis. Carlos had a nice game last night with a couple of hits, including a double. There he is. He had a hit right-handed and left-handed, also drew a walk.
Talk.
We have bullpen action, but it's the rare bullpen action for a catcher. We may have gotten to the point where Brian McCann on this warm day is thinking his day may be done. So Javier Bracamonte is warming up a catcher.
That would be great if it was J.D. Davis. Max Stassi's the man.
You don't see catchers warm up in the bullpen very often.
No. But again, there's no cage here. There's no place for him to hide and get loose. Got to do it right here in front of everybody here most of everybody that's left here at Oakland.
Ricky Henderson lost the big head race today, by the way. One of the rare times.
That is rare.
I think it was Eck that went diving at the finish line to win it.
Yeah, he went nose first.
3-0 the count to Marwin. And a strike. It's 3-1. RBIs for the Astros today. Alex Bregman with an infield single for an RBI, and then J.D. Davis to start this inning with an opposite field loud home run. His 4th of the season. All four. Astros have 2 on in a 4-run game. The tying run is going to be on deck, which would make it a save situation at this point, as Bob Melvin waited for Carlos Beltran to be announced, and then he is going to go to the bullpen. Blake Trinan, their closer, has been warming up, so he will go to his closer here, looking for a 4-out save. Top half of the 8th inning, Astros down 6-2. AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Really have to use your head to play Jenga out there. By the food trucks.
It's got an unfair advantage looking at it from that angle.
Uh-oh.
Good grief, he's heavy-handed.
They have ping pong out there. They have cornhole. They have
food trucks.
Connect 4, food trucks, big Jenga. Big head Ricky Henderson. It's all out there. Entertainment on the plaza here at the Oakland Coliseum. New pitcher is the closer, Blake Trinan. He'll face Carlos Beltran with 2 on and 2 outs in a 6-2 game in the 8th. Beltran takes a called strike.
Trinan can bring the heat, averaging 97 miles an hour on that fastball. 10 saves and 15 opportunities between Washington and Oakland.
Came over in that trade deadline deal that sent Ryan Madsen and Sean Doolittle to the National League East Division champion Washington Nationals. And now he's ahead of Beltran 0-2. The Nationals also picking up Brandon Kinsler. They are the one team that needed the help the most in the bullpen, and they did a nice job finding some arms at the trade deadline to help the back end of their bullpen. Swing and a miss. Beltran down on 3 pitches. Trinan picks up a strikeout. The first batter he faces. We're in the bottom half of the 8th. It's still 6-2.
Athletics leading the Houston Astros. The Astros will have a day off tomorrow in Anaheim, and then a 3-game series with the Angels that will be kicked off by Justin Verlander, making his second start for the Houston Astros. He got that first win in his first start for the Astros. It's our Toyota time to play. Looking back at video from that night, it was one of the most anticipated starts in Astros history, and he came out and delivered 6 innings, just a 1-run, and through 99 miles per hour, that last pitch of the night. Very exciting night for Justin Verlander as he was getting to know his new teammates. He had some nerves working that day. He said it felt a lot like opening day, but now that's behind him. He can focus on the Angels and get back to business, really, guys. He's getting more comfortable, as I said, with his teammates because he's having a lot more conversations, a lot about baseball, but he's actually learning a lot about his pitching coach, Brent Strom, which is important, his catcher, Brian McCann, who they go way back, but just working together, all of those conversations are important as he moves forward and tries to get more comfortable, more confident in that Astros uniform, guys.
All right, Julia, look forward to that on Tuesday as Luke Gregerson takes over here in the bottom half of the 8th inning in a 6-2 game. Luke takes over for Will Harris. He is the 3rd reliever used by A.J. Hinch today. Astros have never led in this game. A's scoring the first run. Astros tied it at 1, then 5 unanswered runs, and the A's lead this game 6-2. 59th appearance of the season for Gregerson. All in all, has pitched better on the road, although he had a tough outing in his last appearance. Fouled back to the screen. Gave up a couple of runs to the A's here on Friday night, the opening game of this series. Astros led that game 7-3. Marcus Semien hit a grand slam against Luke to tie it at 7. 2 of the runs charged to Mike Fiers, 2 of the runs charged to Luke. Now getting a chance to face Semien with the bases empty to start the bottom half of the 8th inning. Astros have not seen many clean innings late in games against the A's. They allowed 4 in the 7th, 2 in the 9th on Friday. 3 in the 6th, 5 in the 8th in game 1 yesterday. And then 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and 6 in the 8th in game 2. Today, 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and a leadoff walk here in the 8th. If you're queasy, don't look at this graphic.
Yeah, I may want to turn your kids' heads away. 11 2/3 innings pitched, 25 earned runs, and that strike to walkout ratio is now 7-16.
20.09. Here's Chad Pinder. Well, hopefully this bullpen will get it all out in one series. They had a good month of August, good series in Seattle, but it has been a horror show here at the Oakland Coliseum this series. Pinder has a 2-home-run game in the series. That came last night. Hit a home run against Chris Davinsky, and then hit one against Michael Feliz. This one's fouled out of play. It's 1-1. Pinder today, though, 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Everything else a final in the major leagues with the afternoon contest, with one exception, and that's the Dodgers playing at home against Colorado. And Colorado leads 8-1 in the 9th inning.
Wow. Just keep piling on.
Will the Dodgers win another game?
Ever.
That's remarkable. 91-36 prior to this stretch. There goes the runner. Pitch out. The Astros have it sniffed out, but safe at second base is Marcus Semien.
Brian McCann still behind home plate, even though we saw Max Stassi getting loose, possibly coming in this game. It's not going to stop the A's from improving their numbers in this series.
J.D. Davis did come on as a pinch hitter last inning and stayed in the game. He's at first base. Marwin Gonzalez moved from first to left. Josh Reddick out of the game.
Just looked up the weather in between innings.
Here?
Yeah, 98.
What?
98.
It was 84 at game time.
It's escalated.
We got to bring in Julia for this. It's gone up 14 degrees since the first pitch.
14.
Wow.
It's 97. Feels like 98, so maybe I'm off by a degree.
3-1 to count.
It says it feels like 97.
No, the other way around.
Feels like 98. It's 97. Feels like 98.
It's not 97 out here.
It's 97 in this booth.
We're getting two different people
I
with
don't believe it.
two different phones are verifying this for us, Julia.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's nice out here.
You're
tucked away in that cave with spiders and possums.
I am in the shade right now, but 97?
Well, and I'm just thinking about Brian McCann.
Yes. Yeah, we saw Stassi warming up. I thought his day was over.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's my friend. He's still here, by the way.
There it is.
No, it does not feel that warm to me. But there's no humidity like back at home.
And you're in the shade.
I am in the shade now.
Is this the stadium where you see more types of animals than any other?
You know, I added spiders to the list, but then I was warned about cats. And there was something else that lives under here.
When you say under here, where you are?
Where I am.
Okay.
I think Yuli tried to throw a baseball to a young fan over here and missed, and it fell into my little area. So I went underneath to grab it, and I was warned by people that work in the state. They're like, no, that's where the cats and the possums and the raccoons. It was raccoons. He told me raccoons were under there.
You have a little zoo back there.
Julia, just call her a zoo? Is she a part of the zoo?
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah.
Somewhere deep.
Sun's
Oh, there
out.
it is.
Sun's
I see the
out.
left
Julia
hand.
won't be out.
I see the left hand.
I'm hiding. Well, I think it's a beautiful day.
You couldn't even see the field.
Tell Brian McCann that after the
Yeah.
game.
I know. I'm not catching.
Ball in the dirt.
Think about how many pitches Brian McCann has seen or tried to catch.
Ball's in the dirt all day long.
Oh. I'm gonna have to walk to the back of the plane and give him a beverage.
Hydration's important.
Yes, it is. Quick trip.
Tony Sipp warming up. Something about the A's late in games in this series. They just have been piling on the runs against the Astros from the 6th inning on. That pitch misses the corner inside. It's 2-0 to Jed Lowry. Lowry 1 for 4. Single and a run scored. The other game on the Major League schedule, which will start in just about a half an hour, the Cleveland Indians put their 17-game winning streak on the line tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. If the Astros fail to come from behind in this game, they will be looking at the second best record in the American League for the first time in 4 months. Coming in with the identical record as the Cleveland Indians. Gregerson with a count of 2-1. It's not been a fun return back to the Bay Area for A.J. Hinch. At least this time around. First two were outstanding. Sweep and a sweep. Outside, it's 3-1. You don't see the, I mean, it's an area, and you know this area better than me, but you don't see the temperature go up 13 degrees in one day, do you? From 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock?
No, it's pretty impressive.
Well, warm
The
front.
high temp time is usually around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, no matter where you're at.
That's a lot.
But it escalated quickly. There's no cloud cover. There's no fog rolling in.
Good thing you're not wearing the big hat today.
Oh man, it'd be like a microwave on top of my skull.
Ooh, there was a good attempt by a young fan with a glove. He or she could not have been more than 5 years old on a line drive. That's a brave young fan. Got the baseball after it.
Desire. This is a great grab in the second deck, taking it away from the adult.
That's how it should work.
Yep. Somebody was prepared, the other one wasn't.
High fives all around. Swing and a miss. Lowry goes down. Taps his bat on the plate after missing that pitch, and he is a strikeout victim for out number 2 in the 8th inning.
Now batting,
I'll bring up Boog Powell. Gets his first at bat of the game. Came on as a pinch runner. Stayed in the game. Astros were hoping not to have to see this guy again. He has been good in this series. He's been good all year against the Astros. 6 runs scored in the first 3 games. He had a big home run in this game, in the game Friday night, that tied the game in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Pitch gets away from McCann, but able to track it down. Astros coming into this game 86 and 56. 30 games over 500 with 20 games to play. Before this series started, they had a real shot at winning 100 games. That took a dent during this series. Astros needed to go 14-9 coming into this series. If they don't win today, they'll have to go 14-5 to get to 100. There's a strike called. 1-1 to count. Still doable, but 14-5 would be playing outstanding baseball to close out this season. Plus they have 3 outs to work with today. Powell into right field. He had 1 career home run before this series, and he has just hit his 2nd in this series. Boog Powell hit a home run Friday night and hits a home run today, and now has 3 big league home runs. It's 8-2. He wasn't probably on the top of the charts for the Astros in terms of who should they be aware of in this lineup, but he has done a lot of damage in this series.
He has destroyed Astro pitching. Little note to self maybe for the Astros is don't throw him anything down and in. He has trucked a slider from Ken Giles, and now is that an off-speed pitch? I didn't pick up the velocity, but it wasn't much movement on that pitch down and in other than missing a spot.
Yep.
Slider.
Slide piece down and in.
Right into the swing.
Powell on the year is 11 for 19 against the Astros with 2 home runs.
I'm over him.
When the A's traded Yonder Alonso to get Boog Powell, little did the Astros know that he might have been better served facing Alonso. Here's a ball rocketed past Correa, knocked it down. Healy is going to live on the base hit. Correa tried to field it cleanly, but that ball was hit hard. And A.J. Hinch is going to come out of the dugout. Tony Sipp had been warming. A left-hander is due up. And we're going to get a pitching change here in the bottom half of the 8th. 8-2 game. We'll tell you about the reliever when we come back. Number in Anaheim in a 3-game series beginning Tuesday. Here are your pitching matchups. Justin Verlander will make his second start as an Astro, coming off a win in his debut. Garrett Richards making his 3rd start of the season. The lefty Tyler Skaggs will get the ball in the middle game of that 3-game series against Lance McCullers Jr. And then Brad Peacock will get another start after looking good last night in Game 2 of the doubleheader. He will face Ricky Nolasco. Day off tomorrow. And a much needed day off as the Astros have really struggled in this 4-game series against the A's. New pitcher for Houston is Tony Sipp. He takes over with a runner on first base and 2 outs in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Pitched a clean inning on the 8th against Oakland. Threw 11 pitches for an inning and also had a punch out.
Sipp faced the top of the order in that game on Friday. Retired Simeon, Joyce, and Lowry. Now facing the left-hander Matt Olson. Olson walked and hit by a pitch his last 2 times up. Is also grounded into a double play and grounded out. 1-1 to count. Astros giving up a lot of runs late. In the A's last 3 innings of at-bats on Friday, they scored 6 runs. In their last 3 innings of their at-bats on Game 1 of the doubleheader, they scored 8. 11 more in Game 2 in their last 3 at-bats. And today they have another 7. Tons of offense from the 6th inning on for the Oakland A's in this series. That's 32 runs in the A's final 3 at-bats in 12 innings. Outside, 2-2. In this inning, a 2-run home run by Boog Powell, giving the A's an 8-2 lead. That ball hit a long way. Second deck, Matt Olson. It is now a 10-2 game. Olsen hits his 9th home run in his last 13 games and his 17th on the season.
Almost punished. This is insanity.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, all the numbers that we're throwing out there and all of the analysis and all the anomalies, this is incredible. Man.
"34 runs now in 4 games in their last 3 at-bats. 12 innings worth. And a base hit. We saw this on the other side when the Astros did so much damage to the Twins bullpen early in the season. But it is very unusual to see it happen against Houston. Their ERA as a bullpen in August was right around 2.5. AJ keeps looking at that lineup card, and I don't think there's anybody else at this point he wants to go to.
Not going to be any ink left in that pen from all the notes he's been making. It's amazing that not one guy has been able to, or a different guy each night, just one guy per night that's been able to find a way to get through this A's lineup.
Here's Mark Canha. They have a distance on that.
You're going to make me look
I'm going to make you work. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're going to make me look it up.
Oh, my gosh. A mad scramble with about 8 kids piling on top of each other for the foul ball.
Lord of the Flies.
That was amazing. They came from all sections. Watch this scramble, Plummer.
It's on.
That's awesome. In a 10-2 game, that's my favorite moment. One kid went head first, 2 rows deep.
Nosedive in there. Came up empty.
That's the effort.
That's what we're looking for.
Late in the game, you're still looking for that kind of effort as the ball drops in off the bat of Mark Canha. Why not? Everything's been going the A's way in this series.
Just touch it.
They'll have their 9th batter of the inning coming to the plate.
Remember that question you asked me?
You forgot it?
No, I've got the answer. I'm just not sure if you want it.
I just want to know distance. I don't need to know all the other. Well, give me whatever you feel like.
Well, it was hit very hard. 417 feet into that first seat of the upper deck beyond right field here at whatever you want to name Oakland Coliseum.
You just named it. That's the name.
Do I have to pay?
Nope.
Okay, that's even better.
In the things could be worse category, Dodgers lost again today. 10 in a row.
Yeah, that's, I mean, the Astros are about to lose 4, and we were in a full panic. But 10 after winning.
And 15 out of 16 they've lost. This was a 91-36 team.
10 in a row?
Yeah.
10 in a row, 15 out of 16?
15 out of 16. Wow. And they had a 197 team batting average during that stretch, and they scored 1 run today, so it couldn't have gone up too much.
Yeah, the ERA for them was at 5.66 coming into that game.
So the 2 teams at the beginning of the year that were on an absolute collision course for the World Series are scuffling a little bit here in the second half. The Astros a game under 500 since the All-Star break and in danger of being swept here in Oakland. The Dodgers had been rolling along until the last 2.5 weeks. Funny things can happen along the way. Still plenty of time for the Astros to turn things around. They landed here in the Bay Area thinking they were on top of the world. 7-game winning streak. Maben, what an acquisition, hitting home runs. Verlander winning his first game. Everybody feeling good coming into Oakland. Day off on Thursday, and then everything kind of went awry here over the weekend. Hopefully the day off tomorrow flips the script back the other way. As A.J. Hinch has, as much as the Stanford guy loves coming back to the San Francisco Bay Area, this was not his favorite trip back.
He's literally given everybody out of that bullpen an opportunity to try and do something, and they haven't. Of course, having Colin McHugh come out of his start, first game of this series after the 3rd inning, doesn't help you at all either.
If my notes are correct, James Hoyt is the only reliever. J.D. Davis, I guess you can count him. But James Hoyt's the only reliever who's not allowed to run, not counting J.D. Davis. And James gave up a couple of inherited runs. J.D. walked in an inherited run. But
It's pretty good work on your part.
that's a lot of
Digging.
That's everybody. That's the whole bullpen has given up a run in the series, pretty much. Either an
In
inherited.
spectacular fashion, too.
Yeah.
It hasn't been cheapies.
No. 3-2 the count to the 9th hitter of this inning. And just like the A's have done all game long and all weekend long, they keep fouling off 2-strike pitches.
Yeah, they fouled off. They don't chase. They put mistakes in play. They've scored 10 runs from the 5th inning on. First 4 innings, no runs. They only had 1 run in the 5th, so from the 6th inning on, they've put up 9.
In the last game, Peacock shut them out through 5. They put up 11.
That's a flip from what we've seen from the Astros, too. Manaea had a no-hitter. The Astros came back and won that game.
Ball 4 on the pitch away. Bases will be loaded. The 10th batter of the inning will come to the plate, Marcus Semien. He walked to start this 4-run inning.
Now batting, shortstop, number 10, Marcus.
I mean, unfortunately, these are numbers that we will probably never see in a series for a long time. At least we hope not. This has not been a fun brand of baseball to watch. Speaking of James Hoyt, he is starting to warm up in the Astros bullpen. There's a called strike. Sip ahead of Semien 0-2. Hoyt pitched an inning and a third in his outing in this series.
I think they're playing Crazy Train. Dun-it, dun-it, dun-it.
Maybe time to head out there. There's almost not much more you can analyze in this game.
Nope. Yeah, we've run out of explanations. Done a heck of a job, Todd. I'm proud of you.
Love to mind erase this series, the bullpen especially. Now a little meeting in a 1-2 count. Poor Brian McCann. He has had
He's been grinding.
and he's never going to stop working until that last pitch, trying to prevent any more runs from scoring. But he has had a long day out there. I want to say of this 3-hour and 41-minute game, the A's have been hitting for about 2.5 hours of it.
At least.
And a strikeout to end the inning. Finally, we get through the bottom of the 8th, and we head to the 9th in a 10-2 game.
to A's. You're looking at Jose Altuve, who has a couple of hits today, and we want to take it back a few years to September 10th, this date in 2014. What did Altuve do? Well, he got his 200th hit of the season on that day in Seattle. It's one of 2 hits he had that day. A big day for him. That was the first time he collected 200 hits in a season, but that was the start of a really incredible stretch for Altuve. That was the first of 7 straight games where he had 2 hits or more to go on and, of course, break the single season record that Craig Biggio had once held. Pretty good time. It's really good times to look back on Jose Altuve in 2014 because what a season he had that year. And then there's the picture that I posted earlier. That's LJ Hose in the dugout, hugging him. Just a really great moment at that time, but thinking back of what, where he was then and what he's done since then, how many hits he's collected since then. You're looking at it right there.
You look at it.
Oh, man.
TK pouncing on it.
Wow. He got me.
1-0.
But he's at 189 right now. So he needs 11 to get to 200. It's the hit watch. It's the best time of year. Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
The hit watch and the magic number watch. Unfortunately, the Astros haven't been helped out on the magic number watch in this series. Tony Kemp pinch hitting for Brian McCann. Flies out to left, or flies out to center to start the 9th inning. Chris Smith is the first. Gets the first out of the 9th. He's the new pitcher for the A's, and he'll face Cameron Maybin. Maybin batting for the 2nd time, grounded out his first time up.
Number 3, Cameron Maybin.
To add to that real quick,
Yep.
so that was 2014. 2015 was a good memory as well. The Astros clinched on the last day of the season to get that wild card spot. Jose Altuve got his 200th hit on that day. It was a loss for the team, but I remember interviewing him as he came off the field about his second 200 hit season and then holding him back from the big celebration that was going on in the clubhouse. He was not happy about that before he went in and joined everyone as they were going to the postseason.
Altuve trying to lead the American League in hits for the 4th consecutive year. There was a string of 5 years where Ichiro led the AL, but he was tied in that 3rd year. He and Dustin Pedroia shared the lead for hits in the American League in that 3rd season. Altuve trying to become the first hitter in either league, American League or National League, to lead his league in hits outright for 4 straight years.
And win his first division title.
First title in 16 years.
It's already had some good years, but it could be a great year.
Well, Astros down 10-2, 2 outs in the 9th inning. So with this pending loss, they will not be able to clinch a division on this road trip. The magic number will stay at 7 against the Angels. They will have a 3-game series against the Angels. They can knock off 2 every game if they sweep and get it down as far as 1 against Los Angeles. But there is no way the Astros mathematically, barring a 9-run inning here or an 8-run inning here in the 9th, there's no way mathematically the Astros can clinch on the rest of this road trip. Derek Fisher will pinch hit for George Springer. So we should see the possibility, the outstanding of a Minute Maid Park clinch. Seattle first, followed by the White Sox.
Got some paying back to do against the White Sox.
Wrap up that homestand against the Angels. 2-1 the count. Fisher fouls one away, and the Astros are down to their final strike. Astros losing game 1 9-8 as the A's walked it off, losing the doubleheader 11-1 and 11-4. And once again, a lot of runs scored late in this game as the A's trying to put the finishing touches on a 4-game sweep, leading this game 10-2. Fisher stays alive. Seagulls are poised.
Pending doom.
They're circling above, waiting for whatever scraps of food are left behind from this 15,892 on this Sunday afternoon. 2-2 pitch on the ground to first. Olsen takes it to the bag himself, and the Oakland A's have swept the Astros in a 4-game series, winning the final game by the score of 10-2.
Player of the game is presented to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's Carlos Correa. One bright spot in this ball game. He got a couple of hits. Things are trending in the right direction. Getting loaded, getting the hands back, and firing through some of these pitches, barreling them up, single and a double. Also had a stolen base. Good to see him trending in the right direction.
Good to see Correa get an extra base hit, first one since coming off the DL, and good to see some good at-bats from Carlos. That was one of the few positive signs today as the Astros are swept in Oakland. We will have more, including the post-game show, right around the corner.